And we're live. Go ahead and run it.
Woohoo! Let's do this, for we are the Rambling Red Shirts. Tonight, it is featuring Chris,
Hi.
Patrick,
Mm-hmm.
and
What's up, guys?
Gio,
Hello.
and myself. That you know.
And who are you? You said myself, but you didn't give a
Myself,
name.
the dingus, obviously.
Why are you talking like this?
Why
What's
not?
going on? Because
Did you get hit in the throat with a softball?
Yeah. I'm injured now, obviously.
well, uninjure yourself so you can talk.
Uninjure
away.
myself. Okay.
Wolverine, do what you do best.
Listen here, bub.
Heal.
Speaking of Wolverine and stuff, we talked about X-Men. Reviewed the X-Men season, X-Men 97 season that just ended today. What a wild finale episode that
What a
for
wild
sure.
season.
Well, wild season, but that was a very good finale. And
If you've
go
watched,
watch it.
Yeah, even if you haven't watched X-Men 92, which why haven't you? What's wrong with you? If you haven't watched it, it's been on Disney Plus for a while now. What's wrong with you? But anyway, you don't have to watch it to be able to go watch X-Men 97, but I would recommend starting with X-Men 92. But hey, that's just me.
Absolutely, 100% agreed.
Yes.
So, but yeah, we are.
Yeah. Wow.
Here for another episode of Rambling Red Shirts. What do? We ramble the fuck on.
Which we're doing right now.
Exactly. So, but yeah, we've been doing a bunch of cool Twitch stuff recently. I've been streaming another Crab's Treasure there. You've been playing baseball and Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
Spooderbutt. So, but without further ado, we can just go ahead and get into our picks of the week.
Which, speaking of Spooderman. I was like, wait, what were we calling
Spooderman.
him?
Spooderman.
Spider Moon? Spooderman? Spider-Man.
Hey, Patrick, what's that on your head?
It's Spluderman.
Spooderman. Here, pull it down. See if you take off your glasses and see if it
I
fits.
already tried. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight as shit.
It's
I'll
gonna
take
be
a deep breath
tight,
here.
yo.
Hold on. Here we go.
Tight.
Tight. Oh, that's awesome. Now he can't breathe.
No, I can. Oh no, the headset's all fucked up. There we go. That's better. There you go.
Oh my gosh. Well, his eyes don't have to be that far down.
Yeah.
I can't see.
Just pull it up a little bit further.
Oh, that's
whichever
perfect. That's perfect. And then now
There?
aim your head down. Aim your head down so we can't see your chin. And now he's cross-eyed Spider-Man. Someone clip that. Cross-eyed Spider-Man. Already we have a gem. First couple of minutes. Cross-eyed Spider-Man. But yeah, speaking of Spooderman, I've been playing Spooderman on PC, the remastered kind of Marvel, because the whole title of the game is Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. It's a mouthful for sure, by Insomniac Games. But yeah, it's lots of fun. You know, it's funny because it's like I played about maybe a quarter of the game when I had subscribed to PlayStation Plus and Premium and did the streaming on PC and everything. And then when I got a new PC, I was like, I got to get it for PC, obviously, because they say if you have a high-end PC, it's one of the most beautiful games to play. So now I did have an issue a little bit where I did have to turn off. I was able to play with ray tracing for about half the game, and then all of a sudden it just started stuttering a bunch, and I turned it off, and it's been fine. It's really weird, yeah. But the game's still beautiful, so I'm really enjoying the story. It's a lot. I really love the way they hit a period of like, okay, it's like a TV show more than a movie. Because, you know, you hit this period of, all right, the villain's about to change and the story's about to change a little bit. And you have this whole it's like episodic a little bit for sure, which is cool. The first the blind episode. Welcome to Rambling Red Shirts, the blind episode. We're doing blind taste test. Blind taste test. We all got to get a mask that's like like that, but like is
Open your mouth.
Yeah,
What
but
is
it's
it?
like a
It's
superhero or a
rabbit skin.
character, and we all got to wear it for blind taste test. I love it.
gosh.
Anyway, so I'm really enjoying the story. The whole Mr. Negative storyline was really good. And of course he's back for the second half, and I'm gonna have to fight him again, I'm sure. Sinister Six time. Very interesting Sinister Six, I will say for sure. Not your typical Sinister Six. A lot of the characters are, but then you're missing your high end Green Goblin, Sandman. But I know Sandman shows up in 2. I understand that. And so does Craven, but he was never really Sinister Six. Anyway, I'm rambling, but welcome to Rambling Red Shirts. Yeah, it's a great game. I love the mechanics. I'm really excited to beat it. I'm really glad I was really happy that Sony did start putting their games onto PC. I love the idea, Griffin. An assortment of superhero-based dishes, and you have to guess which one is based off by taste, mayhaps. Well, if we're doing blind, then yeah, by taste, obviously. And yeah, it would be hilarious if it's like the mask you're wearing is that food, but you didn't guess it right, and then you get told. So that's like, yeah, W idea for sure. Anyway, speaking of, I love the I'm right now just focusing on mostly focusing on the main story. A little bit of side stuff here and there, but none of the big side missions I'm doing yet. And I'm streaming the main story. I'll probably do all the side mission story stuff and DLC stuff off Twitch, to keep it fresh. Don't want to, just pound you guys with Spider-Man.
Well, some of the side missions themselves do get fairly cinematic though, so I definitely recommend doing those.
Well, yeah, I'll do them.
Like the ones that's not the collectible necessarily.
You mean like the Black Cat and the Silver Sable ones?
Well, no, like there's
The not so collectathons.
I don't know what you haven't unlocked, but there's something involving a big Marvel character that you can do, that you get to fight. There's a side quest.
Okay, interesting.
So I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, don't say anything.
No, if you know him.
Yeah.
About him. No.
But yeah, so definitely go check that out on Twitch. All the VODs are there right now. One day we'll start like editing and bringing VODs over to YouTube. If you know anybody who's interested in helping us with that, let us know. Because editing's a bitch. And if someone wants to be just the editor for us, by all means, we would welcome it. So that's my pick of the week is Spider-Man Remastered. Check us out on twitch.tv/RedShirtsRemastered and watch me play it in the afternoons. Next, Patricia.
All right. So, I hadn't been on in 3 weeks now of the pod, because I think the last one was 2 weeks ago, and I ended up missing that. So, I have been super busy, but I did manage to get some good, solid comic book shopping in. So that's actually going to be my pick of the week. So first of all, I got to go watch Episode 1 Phantom Menace on Star Wars Day, which is also free comic book day, and stop by the comic book store to grab a few books. So on free comic book day, I just picked up, I'm going to only show 3 of each, just so I'm not sitting here just like rambling you guys down all night long. So the 3 I picked for free comic book day, I got a Hellboy book.
Nice.
And I thought this one was hilarious. It's called The Overstreet Guide to Collecting Comics. And it's got Santa Claus on it. And it's fantastic. I saw it, I was like, I gotta get that. That's funny.
Nice.
And then while I was there at the store, because you got to support your local comic book store, I did pick up a few books I did purchase. I got a Darkwing Duck issue number 1.
Excellent.
Let's get dangerous.
Yeah, let's get dangerous, boys. And then just 2 days ago, I think it was 2 days ago, it might have been a day and a half ago, I recently got to go to a place I've been wanting to go to for a year and a half since I officially moved up here to the Midwest. This is one of the longer running stores that's actually in the Midwest. It's been around a very long time, called Comic Carnival. I dropped some pictures in the Discord if you want to share those, Chris, in a minute.
Not really.
But I picked up a few here. This one's from March of '92. It's a Batman Gotham Knights. Very cool. We've also got a trade I picked up. It's Usagi Yojimbo.
Sorry.
Very nice. Very nice. And this is one I've been hunting for about I'd say 2 to 3 weeks now. It is the Episode 1 Phantom Menace Anniversary Special One-Shot. Pick that one up. So those are my 6 from the last 2 weeks that I wanted to feature. And yeah, comic shopping's been a lot of fun. I've been spending way too much damn money. I probably spent a little over $100 just on those. Plus, I got the free books from Comic Book Day. So pretty fantastic. Always go support your local comic book stores, guys. If you got a comic store in your area, definitely go give them business. Keep them open and running. And another quick thing, I gotta say this because I was going through some old content. I saw Spencer went to his free comic book day, and I saw you had mentioned a video, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta go find this video. And I had to dig for that video of you in line when they opened the doors at your comic book store.
You found that?
Because he only posted it on his Facebook. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I had to like really dig, but I found
Facebook
it, and I
has
saw
been
you and your boys rolling up in the comic book store, and I was like, there he is, I know him. So yep, go support your local comic book store, ladies and gentlemen. It's fantastic. Go give them your money. Don't just always buy your comics online. Definitely support your local stores as well.
Absolutely. 100%.
Support your independent creators.
That's true too.
Throw your Witcher a coin now and again.
Throw your red shirt a coin. I mean, what?
Throw your red shirt a coin.
All right, who is next? I think we have a Geo.
All right. Yeah, so my pick of the week this week is a new show on Netflix that goes by the name of The Gentleman. It's by a gentleman you may know by the name of Guy Ritchie. And if that name sounds familiar, the Gentleman, it's because he did a film of the same name back in 2019. This show is, I mean, they say it's a spin-off, but I can't really see a whole lot of similarities, maybe just it being in the same universe kind of thing. But that being said, it's a really, really excellent show. I guess just going into the premise, it's about a guy who his father is the Duke of Halstead. He passes away. He inherits his estate, and then he finds out that his father was into some criminal underworld activities, let's just say. And so it's a battle of trying to get out the game, essentially. And each episode kind of presents a new problem, a new thorn in his side of his goal of trying to get his father's estate clean and out of the criminal underworld. So it's a really, really interesting show. Like, if you've seen any of Guy Ritchie's previous works, you kind of know what to expect in that kind of vein. What I really enjoyed is the characters in the show. The dialogue is fantastic. There are some really funny and just like there's one exchange in particular in the first episode where the brother goes on this epic rant, and without going into details, it's worth watching that first episode just for that scene alone. It is so yeah, it's a very funny show. There's a lot of intrigue in the crime underworld saga going on there. The cast is really excellent. You get a lot of the mainstays from previous works. You get guys like Vinnie Jones, Peter Serafinowicz is in there, Giancarlo Esposito, who you may remember as Gus Fring from Breaking Bad,
the greatest.
among other
I was on
things.
a TV show with him once.
Well, yeah, he plays a significant role in this. A lot of great cast members who just, I think it's really important in a show like this to, when dialogue is so important to what the show is, the casting really has a lot to do with how successful it's going to be. And I think they did a really good job with the casting in this one. All the characters, even the characters that you don't like, you want to see more of them. And that's a really tough thing to do sometimes, is to make it like the brother in this is completely unlikable, but he's one of the best characters on the show, and every scene he's on, it's just like, oh, what's he gonna get into now? So it's a lot of heart in the show, a lot of just unexpected kind of performances that you wouldn't really think going in. This isn't like a tough I mean, there's a lot of how do I put this? It's not completely just on a negative tone the whole time. There's a lot of laughs and a lot of stuff to like in this show. So it's, if you know, when you bring up it's a crime drama kind of thing, that people, you might get the impression that it's just all this isn't Boardwalk Empire or something like that. This it's a little bit lighter in tone, but it still has that intrigue as well to go along with it. It's not a pure comedy either, so it's got a little bit of both action and comedy in it. And the entirety, I believe, is on Netflix now, 8 episodes, and I would highly recommend it. If you're a fan of Guy Ritchie's to begin with, you've probably already seen it. But if you're not, and you're just looking for a new show to get into and you have Netflix, this is a perfect opportunity to jump into this on the ground floor. And just highly recommend The Gentleman by Guy Ritchie.
Very nice.
Sounds very action-packed. What would you give it overall for a rating for what you've seen so far, Gio?
Well, I mean, if we're going like a star rating, I would go at least 4.5. It's very good. It's not a perfect show by any means, and there are there are flaws in any show, but like I'm having a hard time thinking of any off the top of my head. It's just a very entertaining show. So it. I can't. Me, like I'm a critical person in a lot of ways. So it's like for me to not be able to think of anything off the top of my head that's bad about the show, that's that's a pretty big endorsement, I would say.
Definitely. All right, I think we got one last person here.
Yes, Spencer. What is your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is Apes Together Strong. Because last week, exactly a week from today, I went to what they called an early screening of...
Hold on. Shut up. Hey, Cat!
What's up, Cat?
What up, Cat? How you doing?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, last week, exactly a week ago, I saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes on the big screen. This movie was freaking awesome. Honestly, it is my second favorite movie of the year so far that's come out, because that's how much I loved it. It was so good. Oh my god, like just visually, it's like one of the best looking movies there is. I feel like, because just they did a great job with making such a beautiful world. It's set about 200 years after the last Planet of the Apes movie. And it very much, even though Caesar isn't in this anymore, where for anyone that doesn't know Planet of the Apes, Caesar is the main character of the original, of that first trilogy that came out. This is very much about carrying his legacy being carried on, while also having a new story that they're introducing, all these new characters. And I think it was a great start to this new Planet of the Apes era that I can't wait to see more of, because it was so good. The characters were great in it. And it's a movie that I think everybody needs to watch. Exactly. But Caesar, no. Oh man, yeah, no. They're even though Caesar isn't in it, his legacy plays a big role in the movie, and it's really good. and so I freaking loved it, and I highly recommend it. I'm actually going to be seeing it again tomorrow, most likely, because it's that good. The only other movie I've rewatched this year, which is my number one movie of the year, is Dune 2. So if that's any indicator about how good it is, go watch it.
Caesar. He was prodded by Lucius Malfoy.
Whoa.
He was.
Yeah.
In the first one.
That's
Now, Christopher, play nicely.
yeah, no. This new one's great though. Yeah, definitely go check it out. It's I don't want to give too much away, because like it did just come out last week. So, but definitely go watch it if you can. Definitely worth seeing on a big screen. Is like I said, it's a beautiful movie that has a really fun adventure with it, and it's so good.
The bigger the screen, the more apes.
Oh my
you see.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, Griffin.
Read it.
Oh,
It says if
geez.
Caesar is dead by the time the movie starts and a garden was planted on top of his body, that technically could make a Caesar salad.
What the heck? What the heck?
You know what?
Dad jokes.
There you go. There we go. A Caesar salad right there.
Dad
Oh
jokes.
my gosh.
Wow.
But yeah, no, it was a great movie. So that is my pick of the week. The week.
No.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
But Spencer, what if I
Griffin
what if I want a-
steak.
what if I want
Please.
a Gollum salad?
What if
What?
you want to
No, okay, that was a
A
terrible
Gollum
segue.
salad.
Terrible segue. Terrible segue.
But anyway, yeah, no, we'll just get on.
Speaking of Andy Serkis,
Andy Serkis, it just got announced last week, I believe it was last week, that Andy Serkis is coming back to one of his other most famous roles, if not his most famous role, of Gollum, for a new Lord of the Rings movie called The Hunt for Gollum. And yeah, it's going to be the next live action Lord of the Rings movie, as they are working to expand the Lord of the Rings universe, as they're saying. Give more stories, not necessarily reboot it, but add in more stories into the world of Lord of the Rings there. And so much. I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about this, but I'm gonna let everybody else go first.
you two go. I'm coughing and dying.
All right, so this was actually kind of like a surprise announcement. Nobody saw coming, and supposedly it's, as of now, it's coming out in 2026. Peter Jackson's going to produce it, and like you said, Andy Serkis is going to direct it. So Andy's going to star in it. So I'm kind of with you. I don't know how to feel about this, because anytime they start to do anything with Tolkien, it's kind of like a weird situation, because he's been dead for decades, and what do you do with that? You kind of have to adapt what he left behind, and that's a slippery slope with the fan base, because a lot of fans love the books so much. I'm included in that list of people who definitely enjoyed the source material.
Oh, you've read the books?
I have.
Wow, I didn't know you read stuff.
But
You read things? They read things now.
I know they read things. I'm definitely not a fan of what Amazon did with the new series and all that stuff going on with the lore. I know it's just the lore.
Yeah, you can't say anything if you haven't watched it. Sorry.
No,
I
what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean?
You can't say anything if you haven't watched it.
Yeah, you can.
So
Why not?
you want me to watch something that's not true to the source material? Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go pop in the Star Wars Holiday Special. I'm at it. All right.
Hell yeah. Fucking love the
Yeah.
holiday special.
Okay. But I gotta be honest. Like this one, if they've been, from what I'm hearing for Peter Jackson, is they've been taking their time. They wanted to develop something that was a little more authentic to the Tolkien source material. I'm a little more okay with this. Am I 100% with it? Definitely not. They're going to take some liberties. They're going to do some things that are creative. That's fine. But as long as they stay as close to that original source material while still making it a fun experience for the audience, I'm definitely on board for that.
Yeah. I think Peter Jackson,
even though
he deserved
the
our
Hobbit
faith.
trilogy was, yeah, the Hobbit trilogy was kind of iffy.
It was
Not a lot of
iffy.
people
You didn't
like
have
that.
to, look. The thing with the Hobbit trilogy is why'd you take 3 books and make it 3 movies, but then take 1 book and make it 3 movies? Like that was it was a money grab, which is what pissed people off. Like you could have done the Hobbit in 1 or 2 movies. You could have.
I think they could have done it in 2. I think is what they should have
2
done.
is definitely what they should have done. Yes,
I think
agreed.
it
That
was
was
the
the
hype
original
of
plan.
the trilogy.
Well, that's the
experience
thing.
of
It was
original.
but they didn't need to work off the hype. It was a
didn't need to
money
do that,
grab.
yeah.
It was a money grab, pure and simple, and that's the only thing. That's
Yeah.
what pissed me off about the Hobbit.
And
I
that's
still
what a lot of
watched
people
them.
are saying about this movie. Is it's another money grab
See, I
by making
disagree.
it.
I disagree because one, it's been a while. They're not, and
It has been a while.
It's taking source material that's in appendices and dabbled in a little bit
Well,
in
You
the
can
Lord of
also
the
say that
Ring and the
about Rings of
Fellowship.
Power too.
Well, no, but that's different. That's not Peter Jackson. That's Amazon,
No, yeah,
and
yeah,
Amazon
that's
only
Amazon,
has
yeah.
access to so much.
Yeah, because
Peter Jackson has New
Yeah,
Line.
they stayed
It's
only
still
less
New
than
Line,
100.
like probably, or WB. They have access. I'm pretty sure to everything.
It's a weird situation
Yeah,
with that.
and
when
that's
you
why
say to Peter
Rings of
Jackson.
Power, and that's why I don't look. Rings of Power is what it is. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. I thought there were definitely some issues with it, some characters I didn't like, but Ring of Power is fine. But this excites me because this is basically gonna be Sauron, Gandalf, the everybody looking for Gollum during that time between Bilbo's 111th birthday and the time he comes back to Hobbiton, and that he found out that Sauron did get him
Yeah, ultimately,
because he yelled the name Baggins.
Baggins.
You know?
Yeah, because that was like glossed over really quickly in the movie.
Yes,
They don't
but
really-
it was huge in the book. Yeah.
It was huge in the book. Yeah. So that's definitely something that, and I want to see how they do that in a way that's going to be make sense with Fellowship's story.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
It's got to be authentic to that.
absolutely.
And the other thing that people are already speculating now is how many of the original cast are going to cameo in this new movie. Because they could have quick little thing. And if I had to guess, it's
McKellen
probably
would
gonna
be
at
really the only
very
one you
end.
need to. Maybe Galadriel, but
I was thinking Elijah Wood. At
no.
least
Well,
something small.
Aragorn was part of the helped Gandalf during that time too.
Oh, you're right. So
Yep,
so
he
Vigo
did.
would have been good. Are you looking at the timeline? Is that what you're looking up?
No, he's a little older. That's a little trickier with Vigo, but they'll de-age him if they have to.
Yeah,
they have
would-
ways to do that now.
Let's see. Is there anything in here? Where's the official press release? Is there an official press?
They
release?
don't give much about.
Okay,
what
so
it
the
is
article's
quite yet.
better.
Yeah, just
Okay.
yeah.
And this will be the time they refer to him as Strider.
Strider.
Yes.
Mhm.
Definitely. So we'll see Elrond probably then.
Oh, no doubt. He'll be
If-
in it.
But
For sure.
but yeah, I guess Hugo Weaving would come back and do it. I
don't see why he wouldn't. Yeah. Especially if they give him a big fat check. They're like, come on.
Well, the
buddy."
reason I say that is because, and maybe it's because Amazon wanted to do their own thing, but young Elrond
Yeah.
should have looked more like
Yeah.
Hugo
But that's
Weaving.
casting. That's a casting thing. That's tricky. Especially when you got two different studios trying to do their own casting decisions.
Yeah, true.
And they might have wanted to go, like you said, their own creative direction at Amazon. They wanted to do something new, something fresh that was maybe tied closer to the books and less the Peter Jackson trilogy. They wanted to do their own thing, kind of separate. They don't have to have characters that look exactly like the Lord of the Rings characters we know and love from the movies. They can still do that. Is it weird? Is it off-putting to the audience who's used to watching the movies frequently? Yes. But at the end of the day, it is what it is.
I think it's cool too that Andy Serkis is so excited about it. His whole he's like, yes, precious. The time has come once more to venture into the unknown with my dear friends, the extraordinary and incomparable guardians of Middle Earth. The fact that he calls them guardians of Middle Earth, like, you know, again, people, they deserve our faith after the 6 movies that they have put out. Like, again, the 3 Hobbit movies weren't all like. They weren't bad.
They were fun.
It was just oversaturation of content there, people. Like, that's all it was. So, definitely.
But the original trilogy is top of top.
Well, yeah.
The greatest. People have said that it might even top Star Wars as the greatest trilogy of all time.
Well, again, it's now.
There's that whole back and forth.
But here's the thing: one, it's turning into Star Wars, where they're starting to throw out more spin-offs and side stories and things like that. But now,
that's the whole Hollywood
difference with Star Wars
is
the creator's still alive.
Exactly.
And he sold his content, you know. And
yeah, I mean that's the whole thing, right? He sold his content, but he also has people that he either handpicked or trained that knows the universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Filoni, who's essentially George Lucas Jr. right now at Disney, and then
Jon Favreau.
Whether you like him or not, or like her or not, Kathleen Kennedy was who he picked.
Yeah,
he picked her. Yeah,
he picked her. Agreed. I think it's like we have to remember how epic that trilogy was to the point where this was back when Oscars mattered. I don't think they matter as much anymore.
No, not at all.
Except for their live performance last one. Yep. I agree. I'm just saying that's the only thing that mattered about the last Oscars.
Which live performance?
Their live I'm Just Ken, and then halfway through Slash comes up and he's going
okay.
It was amazing.
I thought you were talking about the Will Smith thing.
No, that was
Oscars
ago. That was like
several Oscars ago. Yeah.
Well, it's the only important thing that's happened in the last couple.
No.
Slash's name out your mother.
I was gonna say, I had no idea. Like, I just watched the thing and I'm like, wait, Slash appears? Holy crap!
But
anyway,
when Oscars mattered, the first 2 movies didn't get nominated because they knew a third movie was coming, and they nominated the third one. The whole trio was nominated for 30 Academy Awards and took home 17. And Return of the King,
which is unheard of,
held the record. I don't know if it still holds the record. I think something might have
Oscar
Avatar, maybe.
No. Definitely.
It's the only thing I would think of that would be
because it won Best Picture in 2003.
And while you're doing that, Matthew, the reason why Disney has not released the original theatrical versions of Star Wars, I think that's because when George signed the company over to Disney, they probably had a contractual obligation that George made them said they could not release the original theatrical versions on Disney Plus or anywhere.
Well, they didn't have Disney Plus then, but any streaming service.
Yeah, streaming or App Store. Yeah, no. That was something. Because when the special
he's saying that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. He's saying he still has some word with it, which is why Disney hasn't released the original theatrical releases.
And he's still alive, so he's in a hole.
That's why. That. Yeah. He was telling us that, not asking.
His lawyers.
He was telling, not asking. So. He knows. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you guys are on the same page.
Yeah, he was telling us.
You said why Disney? So
no. It's there's no question mark. So it's
there's a period.
Put a it's. Why Disney hasn't released.
Well, you're right. Yeah. Yes, that is why. There's definitely something there. They sold the company 13 years ago, and there hasn't been a peep about it. So that tells you everything you need to know about that.
specifically from Oscars. If we're just talking Oscars not Academy Awards in general,
that is
but just Oscars.
Well, that's the same
thing.
Because
there's different aspects to the Academy Awards beyond the Oscars. But there's 3 movies that have won 11 Oscars that's tied, and that Return of the King is one of them.
What are the other 2?
I thought the Oscars was just a colloquial name for the Academy Awards.
That's what I thought too.
There's other aspects of the Academy, I'm pretty sure.
There's TV Academy.
Different places.
No, that's the Emmys.
The Academy Awards is TV awards too. They're just not as talked about.
Yeah, but we're talking about movies.
Yes.
We're talking about movies.
Just the movies.
What we're talking
just
about.
the Academy
You're
Awards.
talking about like the lighting and technical Oscars is what you're talking about, I think. What Spencer's talking about.
Exactly. Yes.
I'll look into more of that later, but
I'll look into it now while you're talking.
There, though, the point is that I was getting to there's 3 films that have won 11 Oscars.
Yes, which ones are
and
they?
That first one is Ben-Hur, and then second one's Titanic, and third one is Return of the King.
Yes, Matthew, you're right. When you sell something like Colonel Sanders, when you sell KFC, he made them never to change the recipe. He said, "You can keep doing KFC, but you're not changing the recipe of my chicken."
I'm sure they
For
did,
sure.
Anyway.
That's the George Lucas mindset too. You are absolutely right. It is. I'm gonna give you the special edition, or for I guess 2011, that would have been the Blu-ray versions, the Blu-ray ones they came out with. I'm gonna put these out, but you're not gonna change them. Technically they did change it though, because they made Greedo say McClunky.
So there's only one Academy Awards. Where's Spencer? Did you not add an image? You did not add an image for when you turn your camera off. So now
I didn't turn my camera off. It's video messing up then.
Oh yeah, he's off to the right side of the OBS.
Oh, he is. Whoa, weird.
It moved him over. That's odd.
It was OBS messing up then, not even VDO. That was weird. The Academy Awards are the Oscars. There's no different ones. And then they're called the Oscars because it's a nickname. Because it looked like the librarian and president of the Academy may have said she named it after her supposed uncle Oscar in 1921. The only corroboration was a 1930.
Then how does this make sense though? It says it took home 17 trophies.
Yes.
Well, wait.
But the whole trio of films, that trio of films was nominated for 30 Academy Awards and took home 17 trophies, including Best Picture it's all 3 of the movies took home 17. So between the other 2, they only took home 6, while Return of the King, they didn't give it Best Picture because that's why they didn't give the other 2 Best Picture, they kept saying, is because they knew the third one they were going to, and it deserved it. Basically,
we know it's going to be the best.
Well, that's what they think. They said they were giving it basically for the whole trilogy, but they could only give it to one movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because the Academy being the Academy.
Yeah. So
it's like when they put out a Star Wars, everybody will go flock to the theater to go see a Star Wars, but they're like, no, we ain't giving you awards. We might give you for best music or lighting or something funny like that, but nah, we ain't giving Star Wars Best Picture. No chance.
Oh, I don't think any of them.
No, any of the recent ones don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Any of the recent modern ones don't deserve it, except maybe Revenge of the Sith.
The Last Jedi.
Except maybe Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge never even won Best Picture either.
No, it was nominated for.
I don't even remember.
Technical
it got
Oscars probably.
Stuff.
Probably some technical ones. I remember when Revenge
they always
of the
win
Sith
for audio. Star Wars always wins for audio.
I remember when Revenge of the
Sith.
Well, John Williams.
Audio editing. Well, John Williams, the sound effects. That's a lot of sound effects to put into a frickin'. A lot of pew-pews. A lot of pew-pews.
A lot of Wilhelm screams.
Yeah.
And animal noises.
But Revenge of the Sith, I remember watching a bootleg copy of that before it came out in theaters, and it didn't have all the special effects, so there was a lot of green screen stuff, and it was pretty cool to watch. It was, and then I went and saw it in theaters when it came out in theaters. So that was really cool. Rogue One was pretty damn good, though. That is true.
I would say out of the Disney era, that one's probably the best.
Definitely,
Yeah, Disney.
That's definitely
Best
my
Disney.
favorite of them.
Yeah, best Disney. Force Awakens is second of the Disneys.
For sure.
I will say the theatrical opening night experience
And
of Force
then,
Awakens still hasn't
man,
been topped.
last is tied between Solo, Last Jedi, and
No, it's definitely Rise of Skywalker.
last. Yeah, probably. You're right. You're right.
Although since rewatching Solo, I might put it over Last Jedi now. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Solo's not terrible. You're right.
I like Solo.
It can be a fun movie. It's a pointless movie, but it's fun.
Yes, it's pointless. It's a nice little heist movie.
I mean, the least interesting part of the movie is Solo.
Yeah, Woody
But when you get
Harrelson.
to Crimson,
Yes.
when it comes to Crimson Dawn stuff, though, that's awesome.
Yeah, of course. Then the tease of the after credits scene,
Not the after credits, just
or
at the end
of
there.
it,
But
the end there.
The
Oh,
cliffhanger
that was
because
cool,
they were
though.
gonna
Yeah.
do another movie.
They were
and
going
pulled the
to,
plug.
and then yeah, no.
well, I think they were. Well, it was really weird though, because when Ray Park got fired, Disney released a very odd thing
Oh,
of
that's
like
right. For
saying
showing
we're
his
never going
lightsaber.
to work with Ray Park again, and this was after season 7 came out of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So people are like, wait, why are they doing this now when he's not even meant, like, as far as we know, work with him? And I think they were going to do a live action show or something, but now I hope that's the next animated show they do and get back Sam Witwer for it.
This is a very important lesson to all of you out there, which is do not upload pictures of your lightsaber on social media.
Why is that?
Because Lucasfilm won't want to work with you.
Well, if you don't,
Well, that sounds like a bonus to me.
A bonus? What?
No,
Did I hear that correctly?
So you're saying
alright.
that his lightsaber was it erect?
No. So what happened is
I know.
like,
I'm
he and
joking. I'm joking.
Okay,
Jesus Christ! I
okay.
know what happened. Oh my
Okay,
gosh,
I
forgot about
Patrick!
that whole
Jesus
situation.
Christ!
And you know what? You have not heard a peep about Ray Park ever since then.
I know he's actually been coming back to some cons and stuff, but other than that, yeah.
Well,
Cons,
you know
that's
that's
about
kind of the
it.
reason that he disappeared because he gave us a peep show.
And apparently not on purpose, according to him.
well, wasn't that? Am
yeah.
I thinking of a different
Yeah, like that.
situation, or is that one where it's
He
like
said his
wife
phone got
hacked him or
hacked. His
something?
he claimed his claimed his phone
ex-wife
got,
or
his,
whatever.
yeah, his ex-wife
Yeah.
hacked his phone or something, his account.
But anyway, that's
Anyway,
neither here nor there.
that's either there. All right. Anyway, we're talking about Lord of the Rings, and we somehow got to Star Wars. It's always Patrick's fault.
Once again, no
because the
damn
whole
it.
trilogy aspect.
trilogy aspect, but speaking of Lord of the Rings,
Hold on, I
is-
didn't get my thoughts on Hunt for Gollum really quick, so let me do that.
Oh yeah. You
All right, because I do have words about it. All right,
Yeah, you
Here's
do.
what-
I'm
Told
gonna
us.
have words with you. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna have words with you. God damn it!
God damn
You
it,
want
Bobby.
to talk about the subject that we brought up? That you
No.
talked
Right,
about?
right,
There you go.
right.
Yeah.
So I do
say
just
good
want
day
to
to you,
quickly
sir.
mention, you know, we're talking for me, my big problem is it's hard for me to look at this and not feel like just another movie because they have access to Lord of the Rings. The only reason why I'm at all hopeful for it is because of Andy Serkis being attached. Other than that, and he's somebody that very much cares for the property, you know. He did
Now,
a fantastic job as Gollum. He did a fantastic job doing the audio reading, so he knows all 4 of the main books.
Oh yeah, he did.
What were you about to ask?
what if McKellen comes back?
It's not about if they come back or not is the main thing. Well, wait, here's the thing. So Andy Serkis is directing. He knows the source material very well.
Mm-hmm.
From there, it's just like, okay, if Warner Bros. brings out the money, then of course people will come back.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but my big thing is what is this based from beyond one paragraph of the original novel? And so,
Oh,
this
wow.
is the thing that we're going with here is that,
Yeah.
you know, Rings of Power, it was actually based from a whole 100-page appendix.
Yeah.
Other than that, they had a lot of things to fit in there and stay loyal or not. Now I don't know how much they actually weren't loyal there, but like point is they had like 100-ish pages to work with there of an actual history
not
book they
not
got
necessarily, because some of that appendices is further in time. You know,
Yeah, but
like
I think
What-
the
what-
point
whatever's
he's trying
the
to
phase
make
two.
is
The
that
point is that
100
it-
pages versus one paragraph, right?
Right.
Obviously,
Yeah.
one is
in
infinitely
age
more
2
content.
Yeah.
appendices. Yes, correct.
And so
Second age.
So for me, I feel like it's kind of a big it gives me a lot of feels of like, oh, they're going to do a lot of wrong things with the Hobbit again, because the Hobbit suffered much of those same problems.
Mhm.
You know what? Fun fact about the Hobbit: you know the main villain of that was his name, like Azog or whatever. His
Oh,
name,
yeah.
he never appeared in the book of the Hobbit.
No.
His name was only mentioned once,
Mhm.
and so, that's kind of that's just my big thing. I'm not looking forward to it too much.
Well,
just
there was
'cause I
really
feel like
no
they're gonna kind of
villain
butcher it.
in The Hobbit. It was really the journey, you know.
It was
It
the
was
journey.
about the journey, and
mountain.
I'd
Yeah.
argue the main. Well, I would argue the main villain was
It's
Smaug
Gollum.
there.
Yeah,
Smaug.
Or Smaug and Gollum.
Well, Smaug was the main thing. Gollum just
Yeah.
tied in with the ring aspect, but like the point of the Hobbit story was they had to go back and
Yeah, the Lonely Mountain.
take back
I
their
know.
home, and so
Well, that's what they did.
That's
The Battle
Smaug
of the
being
Five
main villain there.
Armies was, you know, did happen.
I think,
And
I think
that
we could
did
really-
happen in the book, though, but like
Yes.
not as big of a deal.
No, you're
as
correct.
the movie made it.
It
and
shouldn't have
adding a
been
bunch
its
of
own movie.
cameos and stuff.
Should
A really
not
good
have been
point
its own
about that,
movie.
though.
It should have been part of the second movie.
Well, because like a Hobbit was 3 movies, and like we said, we established that they stretched that out way more than they
Mhm.
could.
Well,
It
yeah,
was,
they
you
didn't
know,
talk about
it was
Legolas or
yeah, it was a small book, and then they stretched it out to 3 movies when they
what's her
didn't need
name?
to. So
Wasp.
I can understand it when it's like when we have the proof in the pudding of what happens there. What are they going to do with one paragraph to stretch that out to? Granted,
Yeah.
only 1 movie, as far as we know.
yeah.
but,
As far as we know, great.
so
Now,
He has
How
a
many
point
other
there too. That's the
paragraphs
thing.
are we
here's a
stretching with
question
these
I
guys?
have: in the search for Gollum, Saruman was very important. So, how are they going to do that with rest in peace, Christopher Lee?
yeah, that's a good point.
That's a very good question. I mean, they could do the like a shadow silhouette trick. you
Oh,
know,
that's a good
for
point.
whatever he's there.
Yeah,
That could be cool if they did a visual way
Or-
like that.
yeah.
Um,
Or just find someone who could, like a Ross Marquand, who could do his voice and just do it through a Palantir or
They
something
got
like that.
AI based voice technology. now.
Well,
I
The-
didn't want to say it, but
I don't trust Warner Bros with this, especially with seeing how they handled it in The Flash. But if they could figure out a way to honor it and get the okay from his family, do what they did with Tarkin.
Oh, yeah, I guess they already did
That's
that a while
true.
back.
But where you get a
Tarkin,
second
they did it with Leia,
actor
they did it
who
with
looked like
Luke.
him. That's what they did with those guys. They found an actor that looked like them, then put dots all over their face, and then kind of 3D'd them.
Yeah, I would be okay with it if they found
Like I
someone
said,
who could sound like him.
Biggest thing for me is if his family is okay with it.
Yeah,
you know, because I think
absolutely.
that's the big thing. Is
Yeah, agreed.
I'm okay with this technology as long as you're okay with it. You know, like
Mhm.
I don't know if they got like the consent at all from Peter Cushing's family, but I feel like he's somebody that
Absolutely,
would have
I'm
agreed to
sure.
something like
Well,
that.
and
You know,
I think that Christopher Lee's family would agree to it because of all the people that are faithful to the source material.
He was
Christopher
the number one.
Lee was one of the biggest Tolkien fans
Huge.
ever.
The number one.
He was, yeah.
So I think
He
they
read
would
the
agree.
trilogy every year.
every year.
He made that clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
He,
You know what's amazing?
He called
too?
to ask to be in the movie. You know.
Yeah. No, and so I really we'll see how they handle it. I think there's a lot of things to be worried about it because when there's no strong foundation for what it's based on versus
Well, I think
Mm.
there's definitely something to be said. You pointed out that look at all the names attached to it and how these are all people that were involved with the original trilogy that was so good, right?
And the Hobbit,
So-
though. Like we have to remember. It's
Yeah,
like
we-
we're
I was about to
but
say,
the point
glossing
I'm
over
making
the
is
Hobbit,
that-
but at the same time, I bet you it wasn't them that necessarily. It was like, hey, let's make 3 movies. It was probably Warner Brothers that says
Warner Bros. Yeah.
we're saying or New Line, you know.
Here's
they're
an-
saying,
here's
hey,
another thing.
make
How-
3 Hobbit movies too.
Well, the point I'm making is that even with those people attached, it's not like well, at least for me, it's not like oh my god, this is going to be just as good as the original.
Well,
trilogy.
that's because we don't know the rest of
Yeah.
the cast either, and we don't know like
They're probably going to make a bunch of new characters. I would imagine.
I don't know if they are. I
They
don't know
could
if
add
they're
some-
because
Because when you only got one paragraph to go off of, you can.
just because you
there's
have
a lot
one
of world
paragraph,
building
but you
you can
know
do.
that you know who's in the world at the time.
That's true,
That's
and that's
big
really hard,
characters.
especially going
You have
into
that.
the rest of the first movie, then the second and the third. You gotta like, all right.
Remember,
then you gotta create
it's
some lore behind that. Be like,
in the
okay,
first
this person,
movie,
if I
it's
create them, you
basically
gotta say,
the-
oh, do you see this army out there on the hill during the
Look.
Battle of so and so? Yeah, that person is in that army. We're not gonna show you they're in there, but you're gonna trust they're in there. That's the crap they're gonna have to start doing, which is kind of what Star Wars has had to do now. Sadly.
So yeah, but
I'm not going down that rabbit
basically, this is between the time of keep it secret, keep it safe, to is it secret, is it safe?
Yeah,
In the first movie, that's
Yeah.
that time period. It's searching
Yeah.
for maybe a little earlier than that, because other people
They
were
gotta
looking
set
for
it
him
up.
as well.
Yeah.
And of course, they're gonna set it up by showing a clip from The Hobbit. The ring being lost
Being
to
taken.
Bilbo and everything.
Again,
They're gonna show it all again. They're gonna show replays
For the third time.
the third time, and then they're gonna show a battle, the battle again for the second time. The battle in Mordor, and show Isildur saying, "It's mine."
Yep.
Again.
All right. Anyway,
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, rest in peace, Bernard Hill.
something we didn't get
Oops, wrong
to
thing.
talk about, because
do
it's
you
been
mean?
2 weeks. Because he passed away, I think, after you guys did your last
Yeah.
episode.
He did
So just after.
last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Late last week.
Like a week and a half
It was-
ago.
No.
It was May 5th.
Oh, was it?
Yep, May 5th.
Oh wow, it was. Wow, it was that long ago.
Yep, King Theoden himself.
Yep, King Theoden. He was the captain on Titanic.
oh yes,
He's
two of the biggest ever movies right there.
Yeah.
That
And
like
he's
what
in
a
both.
huge role right there.
Um,
As we really just talk about the Oscars thing too. Two movies
Yeah.
tied right there, both fantastic
Mhm.
movies.
yeah. Let's see. There's a great picture of him on the horse.
Oh,
Which-
yeah, in Return of the King. Yeah.
Yeah, which they're talking. Speaking of horse and the Rohirrim, there's that anime movie that's going to be coming out. That they're going to be showing. Like
I
you said,
forgot all about that.
it's gonna
We'll be showing it
great.
next month.
Yep. There's him in Titanic. Wow, look, there's a young him.
Wow.
What's that from? It's
I don't know,
Yasser
but he kinda
Hughes,
looks like-
played by
looks
Bernard
like-
Hill. Boys from the Black Stuff. Let's see here. Anything else? Oh, wait. Let's see here. He was in the BBC TV series I, Claudius. He was in Gandhi. Scorpion King and Valkyrie.
I didn't realize he was in Scorpion King, but it's also been a long time since I've
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah, I mean 2002 is when it came out. It came out the year before you were born.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. So, yeah, Bernard Hill, rest in peace. We wanted to just bring that up.
Yeah.
A legend.
Absolutely.
And
Potential
acting
other
legend.
actor who
That's-
may or may not show up in the Gollum movie. We don't know.
No, I don't think
No, this would be
the
a bit
Rogue-
before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is way before that. The Rohirrim were dealing with their own stuff because the
Oh, sorry, I meant the Gollum, not the Rohirrim thing.
Well, still, I think this point
Yeah.
still applies.
no, yeah, this point still. Well, that's what I'm saying. He wouldn't be in the Gollum movie.
Yeah.
The Rohirrim will. He may have a voice.
Rohirrim is 200 years before.
Then no.
Hobbit.
Yeah, then never mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
and in the
no
Gollum
chance.
movie, the Rohirrim didn't have anything to do with Gollum. They didn't care less about Gollum.
It's more
They
of a
were-
Gandalf and Strider,
Strider,
chase him,
and then Mordor,
and then Gollum got to Mordor, and they're like, "Never mind, we shouldn't follow Gollum anymore."
Yeah.
And then that's
So-
kind of like what the
Yeah.
game did. That's the other thing too.
Yeah.
There's that awful Gollum game, supposedly awful.
But the
um,
story, like,
I don't
could
know
be
anything about
okay.
it, but-
I don't know anything about the story. It's the mechanics and the graphics that were awful. You know, so I don't know anything about the story. The story could be okay. You know, there are a lot of games like that.
I should buy it when it has a cheap.
No, you
sale
should just
and
go
then
on. We should
stream
just
it.
go on YouTube and
Let's
watch
see, what's it going
just the
for now?
cinematics. You know,
Or you could watch me stream it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Do you want to see me stream Gollum? Let me know.
Here, hold on.
I'll volunteer for that part as long as it's a cheap sale that I can get on like.
Yeah,
Epic
we'll
or
do a
something.
poll in the Discord at some point.
we need to remember that. We need to do a poll for that. Aladdin and Lion King. All right.
Yeah.
We'll just need to remember there.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right. Anyway.
And speaking of epic movies, Fantastic Four coming out in a couple of years. Well, a year and a half-ish. December
over a
25, right?
July.
July
of
25.
next year.
Okay.
But I don't know if they're gonna hit that though.
I don't
but
think
it's
they
possible.
are. I don't think they're. They have to start filming very soon.
End of July is when they're starting,
Okay.
I believe.
So
I think it's
Pretty soon.
So we know the Fantastic Four main
Mm-hmm.
villain is supposed to be Galactus because we already got the female herald of Galactus.
Shalabal.
Yep. Basically, female Silver Surfer being cast, Juliet Garner being cast, who I first saw. If you've never seen the show The Americans, go check it out. Great show. But she's been a bunch of stuff. But they cast Galactus. Let's see.
Galactus.
Let's open this image in a new tab because that's better. There we go. This guy.
That guy.
His name, Ralph Ineson, from The First Omen and The Witch. And his voice is very, very boomy.
Yeah, I listen. Like I don't know the name. There's a couple roles I know him from. Actually, after looking at.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you
Actually,
pull
no
that
problem.
up so you can go over them while I keep his picture up?
Well, I mean, you were just saying he was in The First Omen. He was in The Creator, as General Andrews. He's actually played a voice in Final Fantasy 16. He also, oh snap, he did a voice in Diablo 4, Lorath, which that was a big character in the story. of the game.
Lorax.
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 Speaks for the trees.
He was in The Pope's Exorcist. He did a voice in The Legend of Vox Machina. He was in The Willow Show that nobody talks about. He was in the movie The Northman. Great movie. Go watch that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was an excellent movie.
Yeah. He played Captain Volodymyr. I'll probably butcher that. The other main role that I know him from is he played the Green Knight in The Green Knight.
Oh, yeah. That was him.
Yeah.
Can tell I don't know that makeup.
But let me see if anything else. He did a voice in the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. He played somebody in the Doolittle movie that nobody talks about either. He played Rick in Ready Player One. Oh, apparently he made a cameo in The Last Jedi. I didn't know that. He was Vince in Sherlock. He played a small role in Peaky Blinders. What else is there?
It's a definitely
Anyway.
prolific career.
He was in Harry Potter as what is it? He was in Harry Potter as I don't remember this character. I'm probably gonna butcher this name. Amicus Caro? Amicus? Okay, Amicus Caro. Which he was in several of those movies. I don't remember who that is.
Harry Potter. Let me look him up.
The Caro brothers, they were, I think, Death Eaters.
Oh yeah, he was one of the Death Eaters. Okay, I remember.
So,
Only
but
reason
yeah.
that name that name hit me, I was like, where my Harry Potter lore's kicking in.
Yeah, the Death Eater dude. One of the, like, in the circle of Death Eaters. He was one, and then probably at the
Goblet of Fire.
Probably at the Quidditch.
It looks like just
at
in
the
the last
Quidditch championships.
3 movies is mainly what he was in.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's mainly in a lot of the stuff like at Malfoy Manor and all that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's probably one of the people with Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
In the yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And Mrs. Mrs. Malfoy. He's probably
Narcissa. Yeah.
Narcissa Malfoy. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, her and Helena Bonham Carter acted their asses off those last few movies. Oh, so damn good.
Anyway,
she just steals every movie she's in.
Galactus. Galactus. So Spencer, talk about Galactus and this casting.
Well, this casting is fantastic because he has a perfect voice for Galactus. After hearing his voice, I can't name a better voice than to voice that big, deep, booming voice of Galactus as he's about to go obliterate Earth. And so, I'm looking forward to it because at least seeing his role in the movie, because by what it sounds like is we're going to get, while it's not going to go down the exact quite same way, it sounds like they're going to take the original Galactus story where he may actually win. Spoiler alert. But with this casting, though, I think it's going to be great. So
excellent.
So they'd be going in a direction kind of like what they did with Thanos for the Infinity War and Endgame. What you're saying? One in the first movie, right?
No, it's going to be more multiversal TVA and time travel and things like that. Like they're going to get probably, once their Earth gets destroyed, pulled into the TVA and then somehow end up in the present. Because this movie's going to take place in the 60s, most likely.
Yeah. So rumor is that Galactus is going to win, and then TVA rescues them as because they're recruiting soldiers for Secret Wars,
which is starting through Deadpool 3.
Yeah. And we got a hint of that, the War Room at the end of Loki season 2 for anybody that's watched that.
Yes.
So.
And then there was the thing. What was it at the end of the Marvels? You guys said with Beast.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
That was just teasing
mutants.
Yeah.
In the MCU, yep. Yeah, that's not going to be till Secret Wars.
They won't do anything.
Yeah, no.
But
Fantastic Four.
Deadpool's the big one. The big.
Well, that's what we're saying. But Fantastic Four and Deadpool are connected.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. I know I'm correct.
I'm interested to see what they're gonna, if they're gonna even do anything Fantastic Four related for Deadpool.
No, probably not.
Even as a post credit.
Maybe, probably not.
Because it's technically MCU.
Probably not. They're probably gonna do something more mutant related. My guess is it's going to be more Deadpool-y. Like, Deadpool's after credit scenes are always goofy, silly. Like
they are.
Like the first movie was the Ferris Bueller's Day Off one.
This is weird because this one's weird because it's the first Deadpool movie that's in the MCU. So who knows what they're going to do?
True. Very true.
Because now Kevin Feige is in charge. So, I mean, they made that joke in the trailer about Feige said they can't reference cocaine.
Oh, they made a lot of jokes. Like the Ant-Man's actually aged. Paul Rudd actually aged.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. I can't wait for that.
Because that came from actually a recut trailer of the newest trailer. All that in front of Planet of the Apes.
Oh, nice.
Actually said, they didn't directly say Paul Rudd, but they said, "Oh, look how Ant-Man aged there," or something, while looking over at that big body. Yeah. But obviously, the inside joke of that is, it's Paul Rudd. Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah, no, the jokes so far have been great, and I'm glad they've been great, because that's kind of my number one worry about the movie.
I'm really excited for Fantastic Four, though, because Johnny Storm, I think, is going to be a standout.
I hope he steals the show. I really
think
do.
Pedro Pascal is just going to be Pedro Pascal. You know, he's going to be the dad that everyone wants to have as their dad. You know,
Like he did in Last of Us.
The father figure, Reed Richards, which is what Reed is.
I mean, he's the ultimate daddy now. So
He's ultimate daddy. Oh God!
Listen, you know,
that's what she
Reynolds'
said.
Daddy too, so
listen. You can't be.
No, Ryan Reynolds is daddy, and Pedro Pascal is daddy.
Oh God.
Gio, what's your take on this daddy?
This daddy. What? The Galactus daddy. No. What's your?
Yeah. When Galactus shows up, everybody's gonna be like, "Ooh, daddy."
You can't tell, but I'm shaking my head right now.
Yeah. Thank you.
I figured because you were so quiet.
I think. I think Johnny Storm will stand out because of the actor they got to play him. He was a standout in the last season of Stranger Things, so definitely Joseph Quinn, I think, will be the standout of the movie. I'm excited for a Fantastic Four movie that actually works. The last one that actually worked to me was the first one with Jessica Alba and Chris Evans.
Very true.
The second one was Silver Surfer was
It was
a little forced.
Fine until the end.
That was
the
forced.
problem.
Yeah.
Where Galactus was a ball of fucking gas. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was terrible. So,
I can make a ball of
And then we
gas
won't-
right now.
and then we,
Right.
jeez, then
Oh,
we
I
don't
gotta
talk.
go
About,
Galactus right.
oh man,
Got
I
your Galactus
think
right
I
here.
ate some bad Galactus earlier. Ate some bad Earth earlier. I need to go drop a Galactus in the pool. And then we don't talk about Fan Four Stick.
What's that?
We don't talk about Four Stick. That director was supposed to do a Boba Fett movie, and after that flop, that's how we end up with a Boba Fett TV show. So thanks a lot, Fan Four Stick.
Well, I mean, I think Fantastic Four is easily, I think the most, how do I put this? Most anticipated, people have been clamoring for like a really good Fantastic Four story because it's
Since the comics, yeah.
Well, now
Well, no, since the first movie with Jessica Alba, like it's just.
No, I mean,
it's Jessica Alba.
If you look back into the comics back in like the '60s and stuff, like Fantastic Four was huge.
Well, yeah, they're the first family of Marvel. That's why they're called the first family of Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've lost a lot of steam in the new era, but that's what I'm saying. Is
Well,
like
they lost steam, after the
the
movie.
old school fans
the-
are
the-
really
the-
wanting
After that bad
Fantastic Four
second
still,
movie,
right?
they definitely went downhill. That's
Yeah,
I think.
but I think the hardcore fans have never stopped wanting Fantastic Four.
Well, sure, because us hardcore fans remember the cartoons from the '90s as well. You know, that was perfect Fantastic Four. You know,
yeah. So there's stuff like that.
there's
So I
been
think
good media.
the demand is there, but I mean, for
course.
me, it's a thing of like, there's no more being like excited or hyped for a Disney Marvel
MCU,
thing. Like it's like I'll wait for it to come out. If it looks good, I'll give it a shot. But I'm not investing my being hyped into it, But like I said, there is demand for Fantastic.
I think
Four,
they're putting more care into it than Fox ever did. I would
hope so.
Because
I think I agree with that actually.
I think they're being very careful with their casting choices, with their because I mean, think about how many rumors we had of who was going to be Reed Richards. So I mean, we had Adam Driver.
Yeah,
we had
so
freaking so many different people.
I'll say, despite all those rumors, we got, I'd say, probably my number 2 choice. So considering all of what it could have been, I'm okay with it.
Me too. Who is your
I
number
honestly
one?
didn't think it was going to be Pedro.
My number 1 was the Doctor Who dude that was also in Morbius. What was it? Matt Smith.
Matt Smith would have been good. Yes.
Why didn't they just keep John Krasinski? I don't get
That's
that.
who I wanted. I wanted John Krasinski.
I don't think he was a good Mr. Fantastic.
Either do I. He phoned it in, and he wasn't.
Do you think they didn't like his performance? Like
I
the
just think they
studios?
only got him for that role for him
'Cause it
to
was a
die,
multiversal
because it
role.
was a multiversal role for him to die, and because it was a fan, basically a salute to the fans.
Yeah.
A salute to the
Yeah,
fans.
I don't think he's a good
No,
Mr. Fantastic. So
he couldn't hold a whole movie in that role. He's a good actor.
He can go to Comic-Con conventions now.
I mean,
So who'd they end up going with? Pedro?
Pedro
Pedro
Pascal. Yeah, Pedro Pascal.
He's Hollywood's golden boy right
Vanessa Kirby for Sue Storm. Joseph Quinn, who was in the I forget his character's name in last season of Stranger Things, the rocker dude who played Metallica.
And I had to look up the Ben Grimm guy because I totally forgot his name.
Evan Ross.
Evan Moss Bachrach.
Yeah, Bachrach. He's from The Bear, the show The Bear.
I've heard that's great.
I heard,
and apparently he was on Andor. I didn't realize he was in Andor.
So
he's already in the Disney family with the Star Wars team, so that's helpful.
They've talked about, I don't know why it's a big deal. They're like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be a Jewish The Thing.
A Jewish The Thing.
I've never heard that.
I hated when there was this rumor that they could have done a she thing, and I'm like, that's
oh god, yeah. And who was it supposed to be?
I don't remember. It was terrible.
I forget who the actress
you know who they can make
rumored.
she thing?
No, it was rumored. Who was the
what's
rumor?
their name? Who's the one from She-Hulk that was doing the booty shaking in that one post-credit scene?
Megan Thee Stallion?
Megan Thee Stallion, make her she thing.
Please get out of here. Leave now.
Yeah, I'll start my boycott now.
Let's not talk about She-Hulk. Yeah, that was
well, certainly not.
It was
Mila
Mila Kunis. That's who was rumored. Mila Kunis was rumored.
A she thing?
A she thing, yeah. She was rumored.
For that
was the rumor.
Yeah, no, I never believed it because I'm like, I can't listen. Yeah. Marvel's definitely fallen, but I don't think even gone that far down to do that.
That's why they have the Marvels franchise.
Let's pick Meg.
That's what they use for that.
Family Guy as she thing.
All right.
That's funny.
Anyway, let's move on.
I am hopeful for this Fantastic Four movie though. I just want to say they're adapting. What it seems like is they're adapting a very famous Fantastic Four story, Fantastic Four issues 48 through 50. That's your homework before the movie comes out. Go read them.
So I got a whole year and a half for that
What's
homework?
The name of the art?
You didn't say that. Perfect.
Enough time to forget about it?
Yeah, I know.
No, he'll remind me. Trust me.
I'll remind you.
For that arc, Spencer?
Galactus trilogy, probably.
Galactus trilogy. Okay.
It's the first arc when Galactus came in, and so and also first appearance of Silver Surfer was involved in that. The big key issues, all those are. Maybe also the first appearance of the Watcher as well. Maybe. Don't quote me on that one. So,
which would tie right in with What If.
It all ties in right there too.
That's a cameo that we forgot to mention for X-Men 97 was Watcher.
We did forget about that.
And we forgot about Nightcrawler. Oh, so I put a comment that unpinned it.
also read Hickman's Fantastic Four because that's introducing a lot of his run of Fantastic Four is where a lot of this modern MCU inspiration is coming from. So
all this multiversal time travel.
The multiversal aspect, that's where a lot of it came from.
Okay.
Which I didn't know until I kind of just randomly picked one for Fantastic Four Day, and then I read that, I'm like, wow.
Speaking of multiversal, our next topic. I'm just going to bring this up because Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. Disney Plus.
Oh boy.
And let's just go through the trailer with no sound on. We're just gonna we're gonna jump around. Let's see here. But essentially it's that why don't you explain the plot, Spencer, while I go through the
Well, essentially it's the Star Wars galaxy that was all in Lego gets completely rebuilt into other things. Like we have all these different teases here of like AT-ATs get turned into like rebellion AT-ATs, or this Ewok village gets turned into I can't tell, like someplace Tatooine sort of looking there.
Mm-hmm.
What are these? The
Geonosians?
the Geonosians, thank you, all turn into Jedi.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Where's
Geonosian
that
bug.
one? Where's that
Jedi
one? That
bugs.
one
25
is-
seconds there.
Thank you. Yeah, there it is.
There's the Imperial TIE fighters. There's
Oh, yeah, X-wing Tie Fighters.
X-wing TIE fighters. There's like another version of the Millennium Falcon there,
There
and
they are.
from that Millennium Falcon, actually, there's quite a big thing right there.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's talk about this.
Let's
Darth
talk about it.
Jar Jar in the block.
Voiced by Ahmed Best.
Voiced by Ahmed Best.
They couldn't have found anybody better.
Here, hold on. I have to play the little tiny bit that he shows up just so people can.
I just love it. Just the setup
Yeah.
for it.
Here, let me have. Wait. I gotta go back a little further because I gotta have it land.
Make this
Oh,
into
wait.
a video game. You know what, Matthew? I would be
First.
okay if TT Games wants to make this a video game for sure.
First, also we got Ewoks
Please.
and Y-wings.
Oh yeah,
Mhm. Oh yeah, Ewok
I forgot about that.
Ewoks and Y-wings. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Let me play desktop audio. There we go. All right. Hold on. Let me open the source so you guys can hear it.
I love how he says "yub nub." That's the other thing I didn't catch the first time.
Here, we'll let you
Yum,
hear
yum.
it again. Yeah.
Ewok bounty hunters!
Ewok bounty hunters.
Misa going to hurt you, sir. Darth Jar Jar?
The fact that they just have Ahmed Best there is amazing. I love that so
Funny
much.
that he's dark, like a dark version of Ahmed Best, like you've never heard him before. You're like,
Just-
hey Ahmed, do your Jar Jar, but do it dark.
Hmm. So, Gio, tell us how you feel about Darth Jar Jar.
I was thinking he was kind of creepy, to be honest. But
I mean,
I think it's interesting because that's like a long-going fan theory. Is the entire concept of in the prequels that Jar Jar was actually a Sith Lord this whole time, and he was running everything behind the scenes, right? So this is taking
Yeah.
a long-running fan theory and canonizing it in a sense in this game at the very least, which is
Jar Jar is
hilarious.
canon. You heard it here, folks. Darth Jar Jar is now canon.
I love it so much. You know,
I need
a
to
big
start coming out with my own fan theories because in a few years they could be real.
Like The Simpsons.
people hear
like
'em.
The Simpsons.
a bit. A big part of that theory was the fact of that Jar Jar has yellow eyes, which is funny. When Anakin turns into Sith, he has yellow eyes there.
Yeah.
Yet, what's funny though about that though is when I was rewatching Phantom Menace, I made sure to look at other Gungans, and it just seems to be like a Gungan feature that they have yellow eyes. So maybe they're all secretly Sith.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, and it's a great. If you haven't heard the theory, it's very interesting because they mention
Yeah.
things he does, like with the way times he waves his hands, like he's doing a Jedi hand movement and stuff like that. Now, I think it's obviously ridiculous. So, like, I don't think that's what George Lucas intended, but it's a lot of fun to think about and then go back and try to watch it.
Well, here's the other thing: we never got an answer, as far as I know of, to why Jar Jar was outcast.
because he's a fucking idiot.
Oh, well, he's clumsy and always
That's what they tell us, but we don't know exactly what happened.
But is he
Boss
quote
had it up to
clumsy
here.
or did he make things happen on purpose?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's the idea, is that he's just playing dumb, right? Like,
Right.
and that's kind of genius. Like we've seen that in other shows where you have a character who just appears like they're they're in the background, and then they end up being the main villain or whatever. So it just plays off of that kind of idea.
It does. It's
a lot
all
of fun.
Darth Jar Jar's fault that the Star Wars Lego Galaxy has been rebuilt. It's being rebuilt in his image.
That's a horrible image.
I'm not so sure about this. I kind of like this one actually. I love it. We have Darth Jar Jar.
Misa gonna rule the galaxy.
Oh, I love it.
You will. I don't even know what he would like. It's hard to think of something menacing that Jar Jar would say. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
You'll be bomb bad. Oh, I love
you're
it.
gonna be resting with the younglings.
Oh, God.
See, like Domino in Deadpool 2, says Matthew. I'm trying to remember.
She was lucky.
She was
She was
lucky.
she was lucky, but so it's just random luck according to Matthew saying it wasn't random luck. I think the way that her powers were, I thought it was supposed to be just things happened. She wasn't mind controlling anything or doing any Jedi mind tricks. It just she was inherently 100% lucky. That's
it's
how
like-
I looked
that's-
at it.
that's
You
her
know,
mutant
in
ability.
Fallout, when
That's
you
her
have
mutant
the
ability,
10
yeah.
luck stat.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I think that's part of the
exactly
joke at Deadpool 2 is
Yeah.
was just making fun of her character the entire time by doing nothing. Jar Jar no squeezy.
right. Yes, Matthew. Fantastic.
But yeah, no, I'm on board for this. Like the fact that we just get something that fun is awesome. You know, before oh my gosh, I don't remember how long ago it was, but there's been other cool like Lego Star Wars stuff that they've done that
Mhm.
I don't remember if this was before Disney or not. I honestly don't. But there's some other really fun like Lego Star Wars stuff that might not even be on Disney Plus. That was fun. That was cool.
Yeah, like the old cartoons. Is that what you're talking about? Like,
yeah, a couple of Lego Star Wars cartoons that they did that was kind of cool. Yeah.
yeah, I think I remember some of those.
Because one was like with this one like, was he a Sith baby or like part holocron sort of dude or whatever? Or like Force dude. It was interesting, and then
Just
there's
so
this other one.
descriptive.
I know,
They-
right?
They had some unique storylines that were like, I assume they were made for those Lego shows, but I couldn't even tell you off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
I'm gonna find this now because they did.
Send the link for it. When
Yeah,
you
I'm gonna
do,
see
so
if I can
bring
find
it up.
them. Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
So yeah, it could be a kind of a throwback to that era in a sense. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't even remember if that was before Disney or not.
yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was called.
times, before the Empire.
Which
Well,
was
they did
before
what? So
Disney?
So I remember there's Lego Star Wars: The Padawan Menace, and then Lego Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Out. I remember watching those two.
Yes,
That's not what I was talking about, but those were fun. Those came out just before Disney at 2011
Yeah.
and 2012.
Yes. Well,
What was
no,
the other
technically
one?
during they're technically the Disney era, but probably approved.
Disney didn't buy them until like what 20?
2011.
This is
2011.
Cartoon Network though, so it would have been.
But they still had contracts. They had
When did
Cartoon Network.
Disney buy Lucasfilm? 'Cause I feel like
2011.
October 30th to 2012. So this would have been before that.
2012? What? I thought
So
it was 2011. Maybe they were starting. You know what? I bet it was. They made the announcement they were selling in 2011, but they probably didn't finalize till 2012. That's probably
either
what
way.
it was.
So it's
I'm
around
trying
the
to
time.
remember that other character that I'm trying to think of. Oh, Lego Star Wars: The Yoda Chronicles. Was that it? Maybe not. I don't know.
I know. I think it's Yoda Chronicles and Freemaker Adventures with the.
Do you
two that
remember?
were-
Yeah. Do you remember the one where it's like made with like there's a dude that was like partially made out of the Force or something? He had this like cool black sort of starfighter. I had a Lego set of this. I don't know if I
Okay.
have it anymore. I'm trying to find it. I'm not having much luck. I swear I'm not crazy, guys. It's an actual thing.
Okay.
Lego Star.
No, for sure. But yeah, I think the point definitely still stands. Is like they have a kind of pre-established Lego universe and things like and different ideas that they've explored
Mhm.
off to the side, kind of. So it's kind of a throwback to that, which is it's a nice opportunity that you can do with the Lego universe, right? It's explore some ideas that might be either impossible or that they wouldn't necessarily want to do in the other formats.
Yeah. I'm looking hard right now. We're gonna. You can carry on, but I'm gonna find this guy. I'm determined now. So,
All right. Anything else on this one?
No.
I think that's all good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Somebody had brought up to me that the main Jedi they keep showing in the trailer is, I guess, Jedi Bob, who was in
Jedi Bob.
I think he was in one specific set of the Lego stuff when they first started coming out with it. It was like in the late 90s or early 2000s when they started doing Lego Star Wars. He's the one that's actually going to be in Rebuild the Galaxy. So,
oh, that's cool.
It was a throwback to one of the original figures, the minifigs.
Very cool.
All right, let's move on to Terminator Zero. Which I didn't know about this till today.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this. I'm interested in it.
We were talking about it in the Discord at one point.
Yeah.
Sign up for the Discord if you haven't already.
Yep. Please do. And we'll get that link in the chat for you guys, whether you're watching this live or on replay. We'll drop that in there for you.
If you want it, DM us. How about that? There you go.
Check out the link tree for all other links.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? Let's do that. Let's just drop the link tree. I'll do that.
It's in there. It's in the Streamlabs. We can pin this. Okay. Let's see. Pin.
Oh, let's just think about it.
It's not going to let me pin.
That's for later.
Oh, it's already pinned.
It's already pinned.
It's already
We're
pinned.
good.
That's fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you just look at the pinned there, it is available. Go ahead and click that link. You can get access to the Discord on there and come join our community. We are always literally 24/7 all hours of the day just dropping stuff in there. So
Terminator Zero.
Yes. Yeah, that's I haven't read too much on the plot of this. I don't know what they dropped of it. I honestly haven't read through this.
Yeah, so I was reading it a bit earlier, and what they mentioned is the timeline, because they weren't too specific about that before. So at least part of this is going to take place in 1997 at the time of the apocalypse or whatever, and it's going to be from the perspective of in Japan, because obviously we've seen a lot of different aspects of the war in America and things like that, and being this is an anime done from a Japanese perspective, so they're going to be showing what things would be like in 1997 at the dawn of Skynet in Japan. And they mentioned some interesting ideas there of the fact that like, for example, they don't really have a whole lot of guns in Japan. So it's like, you know, if the Terminators came and started attacking, what would you do in a situation where not everyone has a gun, like in America, right? So it's like some interesting concepts there. That's one of the things that they mentioned in the article.
Break out your samurai sword. We're going back to the olden days.
Yeah, and I mentioned this on the Discord when we were talking about it initially. I believe it's being done by the same studio that did Ghost in the Shell, among many other things. So I know visually it's going to look fantastic.
No doubt.
My main concern was just the story, what they're going to do there.
Do we know who's producing this yet? Have they made any announcements about like anything like that? Or directors?
Let's see.
It might be like a lot of shows where they, like every episode.
Mattson Tomlin is the showrunner and executive producer.
Okay.
The Batman, you might have known him from that, among other things.
As in the Batman with Robert Pattinson?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I dig that movie. That's a good movie.
He's got a bunch of projects in the works right now, so he's must be like one of the new, like Hollywood darling types.
The upstarts getting his groove on.
He's got at least 3 projects in the works from what I'm seeing. He's got like a Mega Man show going.
Mega Man show?
Yes, Mega Man show for Netflix, I believe. And he's got Keanu Reeves' comic book is getting a show. Berserker.
Oh, Berserker? Wow. That's cool.
Very cool.
So is this something you guys are going to be watching as Terminator fans?
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'm definitely very interested in it. The animation, the pictures we got for it looks great, I think. So I'm definitely interested in what it's going to be, and the premise that Gio just explained, I think sounds very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there were some parts that, there's still such little information, but I was a little confused at it too, because it's like, I mean, it is, if it takes place in 1997, I guess that makes sense. But if you're a Terminator, right, and you're a robot and you can build yourself into anything that you want, maybe just like build a gun arm, and then while they are all trying to hit you with swords, just fucking shoot them. But I mean, I guess that wouldn't happen in the initial attack, right? They don't have time to do all that. So, but that being said, yeah, like the animation is going to be great. I'll definitely give it a shot from what I'm seeing so far. But there's nothing. I will say there's nothing that's making me be like, oh, this is going to be a masterpiece or anything like that. But I'm definitely intrigued. Be nice to see something different, like after all the live action Terminator films. Like another thing they bring up in this article, right, is there's going to be like cameos and characters that you might be familiar with from the previous films and in the franchise in general, but you're not going to see John Connor jump in, and have him be like, he's not going to be the focus of this, and he, by the sounds of it, he might not even show up, period, aside from maybe like I imagine maybe they might mention him at some point, because it's kind of an unavoidable aspect of the story.
Absolutely.
But he's not going to be the focus, which makes sense. If you're in Japan, he's a kid at that point in 1997, and they would have no idea who he is.
Yeah, yeah.
That's weird. I'm wondering, the way they're treating the timeline is interesting for this one.
Yes, well, I mean,
they're
always
treating as
shit.
if, like, I know, it's like they're treating it, they said, as all 6 movies as canon. It's like, but how do you do that?
That is weird.
Well, because it's time
like
travel, right?
Like,
so I think that's the beauty
it's
of time travel.
But it's like, also not.
Well, because in each movie they technically, retcon certain things, or they alter the timeline further, right? So that's the beauty of time travel, and then kind of the double-edged sword of it is you can kind of just change whatever you want, which there's some downsides to that as well, because it kind of devalues decisions that you've made and people that have died and things like that. But I mean, from a writing perspective, it definitely gives you a lot of options. So there's not.
It's the superhero effect.
Nothing that really happened in those films would really impact what they're doing here. I don't think. Like I can't.
So if somebody dies in this, they can come back in the live action for the next movie.
Yeah, I don't think they're really going to care that much. Like, they're not going to be.
They're like, we're going back to the past. You get in the DeLorean, Doc.
But one thing I'm really curious for is to see like what creative stuff can they come up with for like maybe they'll come up with like a homemade IED or something and try to blow up the Terminator with it, or some kind of, I mean, it's 1997, so they wouldn't have like 3D printers or anything, but what kind of unique stuff could they come up with for weapons to fight the Terminator at that time?
Bullets.
Just standard bullets and guns. Yeah,
they had EMP grenades and stuff back then.
Yeah, RPG.
Well, yeah, and I'm assuming like I'm not I've never lived in Japan, but I assume like there's got to be some guns, right? Like maybe the military. Well, I don't know how much of a military presence they still have at this point.
It's just the defense force. Yeah,
right. Because there are some guns, like, are we gonna get a scene where the Terminator tries to attack the Yakuza and it gets fucked up or something, or
yeah, they got guns. I always forget about that.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what they do with that. And then what do you do in that Japanese situation? That's going to be unique about that.
I feel like it's going to be definitely visually a lot of elements that we like. If you've seen any of the Ghost in the Shell, whether it's the original 1995 or any of the standalone complex, anything like that, you kind of know. I think they're going to take a lot from that in terms of what's going visually. So I think there will be a lot of cool stuff like that, and it'll be, how do you describe it? Like a kind of a feast for the senses, so to speak. But whether that makes a good show or not, that remains to be seen. But I definitely have enjoyed everything that I've seen from that studio in the past. I'll say that much.
They also did that. I think it was called The Ninth Jedi. In the first season of Star Wars Visions.
They did.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
All the
but-
anime studios pitched in for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was one of the best episodes, I think, of all of Visions. So, highly recommend checking that out if you haven't.
I'm trying to remember which one that is. Let me look up some images. Refresh my memory.
It's the 5th episode. I believe it's called The Ninth Jedi.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
One thing that is cool that they mention as well, in terms of like because it's going to be mostly new characters. So if you remember like the first movie, when the characters pop up, you don't know who's a good guy, who's a bad guy, and like when Kyle Reese pops in, they don't say straight off the bat that it's ambiguous. Like he could be one of the Terminators essentially. So I think that you might see some of that in this adaptation of like you might see a character come through and you might think that this is going to be one of the humans, and then he turns out to be a Terminator, or stuff like that. And then without knowing any of the characters, anybody could be a Terminator for all you know.
Yeah,
Yes.
when I first heard about this and hearing that it was Production IG, right? Is that what they're called? Yeah, Production IG. That got me very interested in it, and these images look great. So
Like they could
I'm
have like
sure
like
it'll
the
be good.
Thing.
Yeah,
I
You
just
guys have
looked up
ever
the
seen,
episode.
Have you ever seen that movie, The Thing? That is like one of the best parts of that movie is like trying to figure out who was one of the well, in that movie it was aliens, right? So they could do something similar like that if they go the horror route and have you guessing who's a Terminator.
Yeah.
Very true. Hosea was just asking in the chat.
Hosea, what's up,
if
man?
If there's about the release date, but I don't think we have. Oh wait, never mind. We do have one.
August 29th.
Thursday, August 29th at 3 a.m. Eastern,
So
Yep,
midnight
which would
Pacific.
and it's 8 episodes long.
So that would be what, like 3 p.m. your time, Hosea? About 4 p.m., 5 p.m. on the 29th.
Yeah, if
So
you just say
when you
all the
get
time,
off work-
you'll eventually get it.
If you're not working overnight still. It's good to see you, Hosea, man. Really good to see
Yes,
you.
great to see you here.
Really good to see you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Yeah, a good Terminator
Yard.
story is always good. I definitely still want to get that game Resistance and check
Resistance, and then we're getting a survival
that.
game.
Yeah, the survival co-op game. That I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm gonna wait till we get more details on it because before that even comes out, we've got a Dune survival game we're gonna get to play. So
Well,
Open
actually,
world.
I think Dune will come out
MMO.
until afterwards. I think,
really,
is how it sounds like.
Oh,
They're delaying it, you think?
No, they're
No,
just
it's
taking their
just
time
taking
with
their
it.
time
They're
with
taking
it.
they're taking the time with it. They don't have a date.
Yeah,
Terminator is saying 2024 fall or
really?
like that.
Oh, I didn't know it was
or
coming
winter
that
or
soon.
something.
Of course.
Well, that's
that-
what pissed me off about that showcase. And I was like, I don't like the showcase. I never even watched it all the way. But like their big thing was, hey, we're showing Terminator, but it was just a cinematic.
Yeah.
And for a game that's supposed to come this year, why can you not show anything?
And it worries me because another survival game that was recently rushed, that is an IP that we love, which we've talked about tonight, is the Moria one,
Right.
which has.
I've heard
had-
that's gotten better though, so we'll see.
So we'll see. We'll have to maybe check that one out. Maybe we'll get it for free during this mystery epic thing starting tomorrow
it,
at one
but-
point. Not tomorrow, but we never know. I mean,
doubt
it already dropped in price tremendously. So
It has, yeah, that's for sure.
So-
No, I'll definitely get it on sale sometime.
yeah, me too.
So
Give us another 25% off coupon. Epic.
so
Do it. Anyway, so yeah,
I just have the money right now. Come on.
I don't. Yeah, I know. No, but we're starting to get mystery games starting tomorrow. I don't know if it's daily or weekly or what's going on with Epic. That'd be cool to get free. If it's free, it's for me. So if you have PC and you are a PC gamer, or even if you don't have a PC and you have an Epic Games account because you play Fortnite, Patrick,
I know.
log in on your phone and claim the free games, because then when you do get a
I need to
PC, you have
remember how
all
to
these
do
free
that.
games.
Yeah, I remember how to do
EpicGames.com,
that.
and then log in using.
Go to epic.com.
Trying to
Yeah.
remember. I trying to remember if I have an account on there or not.
You do,
Yes, you
because you have
do.
an Xbox account. You just log in using your Xbox account.
Okay.
You click the little
All
Xbox
right.
symbol, and it'll log you in, and then you go claim the games on
Cool,
PC
cool.
on your browser. You can claim them right in the browser.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Terminator.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Speaking of video games,
Oh yeah, we were just talking about some stuff there.
our
Yeah.
next topic. God dang it! What stupid freaking.
God dang it,
There you
Bobby.
go. No, it's this stupid YouTube thing. If I go too far, it shows it blocks what I wanted to show, which is the actual release date. So
Here it is. Yep.
Assassin's Creed Shadow. We didn't get any gameplay, but I mean,
No, I knew that.
I knew we weren't going to get any gameplay yet. But
Bit of a letdown, but yeah.
Next,
Nah.
well, that's all they've revealed the last several Assassin's
Mhm.
Creeds. Though,
Yeah,
is they've
they're
showed the
saving it
cinematic-
for,
Ubi Forward will get
Moving
it.
forward. 'cause it's
Yeah,
only
we'll
few
get it
weeks
all.
away.
We'll get a full gameplay
Exactly.
reveal, and we'll probably get leaked gameplay. Quote leaked.
They'll do it like the
gameplay.
day before because that shit always happens.
Like the week before, yeah, and it's so.
And then they have to go on stage and pretend like they're debuting it. It's like, no, the whole
Right?
internet's already seen it
Yeah,
by now.
although you'll see more.
Well,
yeah,
So what's interesting
Yeah.
is we have this massive cinematic trailer because it's a good length there.
Yeah.
But and while we didn't get any gameplay, there's a lot of details that came out about it today, which is very interesting. And I actually have a whole list here pulled off that I can
Go
go through
ahead.
here really quick.
yeah. 'Cause
so-
there's no point in us going through the cinematic trailer, but
Sure.
definitely.
You just need to know, and I'll go through it here in just a moment. But first, obviously it's a next gen game only. PS5, Series X, PC. On the updated Anvil engine. It takes place in
Ooh.
feudal Japan in the year 1579 during the Azuchi Momoyama period. To put this in relation to Shogun, this is just a little bit before that when that show takes place.
Okay.
This is the time period that sees a range of activity, including Portuguese merchants, legions of samurai, shinobi, Jesuit missionaries, and etc.
Jesus missionaries.
The time of Jesus.
The time of Jesus missionaries. But so, and
They were
then
Jesus
it's
missionaries.
interesting you say right before Shogun in the Assassin's Creed timeline. This is the time of Ezio. A little
Is
bit,
it?
I think.
Hold on, I feel like that's later though. Ezio,
Um,
Assassin's Creed.
1459 to 1524.
Well, that's a bit
A bit
after
before,
then.
yeah. A bit after,
Uh,
before. What years did we
or a
get?
bit after.
Bit before,
That well,
yeah.
no, Ezio's a bit before this
a bit
game.
before,
is what
yeah,
we're
which
saying.
is so
So-
it's a bit after Ezio. There it is. Yep. And it's Old Man Ezio, which is in the last game, which I loved. Anyway,
So-
yeah, if you haven't played the Ezio trilogy, which I know you haven't, Spencer, it's
I played the bit of the first one. It was great for what I
Yeah.
played.
yeah,
I haven't played through more. I want to
Two.
play through more. Yeah, I'll play through a bit of two. Yeah,
yeah, Brotherhood and Revelations. Oh,
I need to
man.
play through all of them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Um,
Sorry with your list.
All right. It's obviously going to be a large open world, just like how like Assassin's Creed Origins. A big difference with this game, the last couple big of these open world games, Odyssey, Valhalla, you had your choice of two protagonists, your male or your female
Mhm.
character. This is switching it up, where there is two protagonists here, Yasuke, which we'll get to who that is in a moment, and Naoi, where we'll go into those in just a moment, but there is a set of personal quests where you can play as one or the other. You can freely switch between them in both the open world and during other objectives. Yasuke is actually a real historical figure who was brought to Japan by a Jesuit missionary and then became a samurai and served Oda
That's cool.
Nobunaga. Yeah, he's actually known as the very first black samurai. And so
That's what I thought that was when I saw the trailer.
that is who that is. And so
Mhm.
as far as I know, is this the first time you actually play as a big historical figure in a
Mhm.
Assassin's Creed game?
Yeah,
And so
Yeah, because every
I
other
think
game
that's
has
really
been
cool.
fictional characters, and it's always had the disclaimer based on
Based
Yeah.
on
historical figures, and you would
Yeah.
always you could interact with historical figures, like in the Ezio trilogy you got Da Vinci, and then in Origins you got Cleopatra,
Yeah.
I think
and etc.
it's really like Hosea brings up.
I was just gonna bring.
It was gutsy for Ubisoft not to go drop a samurai Assassin's Creed game, but I think even going into that, like Assassin's Creed is about assassinations, right? So it's not really samurai doesn't lend itself to it. Ninja is what it lends.
That's what I'm excited for that. That's what
So
excites me a little bit. That aspect of are we gonna get like Sifu mixed with Assassin's Creed?
Well, what I was thinking was, you remember the Tenchu games?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
That's what they really should have done. Is
well, the
modeled
most
it off
recent
of
one was what, Tenchu Z or something like that.
Oh, I don't know. I
Most
think that
recent
one
on like
sucked,
360
but,
and PS3. Yeah,
I
but the
remember
original
in their
PS1
heyday-
one, the
in their
original
heyday, they were
PS1 game,
amazing
the first
games.
one was amazing.
So
and
to
then
me,
yeah,
that's what I would have done, is just modeled this entire game off of that, with with modern considerations, of course, in terms of gameplay.
maybe they have. But I like the samurai
yeah,
aspect
good
of it
point.
because Lord is that Lord of the Rings? Christ. Assassin's Creed is about, especially the more recent ones, freedom of choice, as a lot of games are dubbed to have. So like being able to either be that Tenchu stealthy or be that badass samurai that just goes charging in with his sword and cutting people up like they show in the cinematic. That big dude that does it, who's I'm guessing the warlord, one of the warlords, because there's gonna be warlords and stuff in this world. Come on, people, it's feudal Japan.
Yep.
Yeah, that's, I think, yeah, model it after Tenchu for that side of it, but you got to model it. That's the thing with Assassin's Creed. It's not just modernizing it; it's they're going in the it. And I think Assassin's Creed has always been that way since after the first game. The first game was very monotonous, and they learned from their mistakes and really gave you more of a little bit of freedom on what you can do. Now, there's still those missions where you have to chase people and follow people, and if you have to do them in particular ways, but especially more recently, I'd say they've given you more freedom of choice, which I really appreciate.
Jose asked, do you want to play the latest Assassin's
I've played a
Creed game?
little. Oh, the
Mirage?
No, Mirage. No, I have
No,
not played
I haven't
any
played that
Mirage. I've
I
heard
need,
good things though.
I've heard overall good things, but I've heard some people say eh. I need to finish playing through those like newer ones because I have all the Odyssey DLC. I need to play more of that. I'm thinking that's probably gonna be the next main like open world game. I started a new playthrough earlier this year, maybe later last year, and so I need to just pick that back up. Because the great things that I like about these new Assassin's Creeds is they're great open world games to pick up and down. Some games are very hard to pick up and down.
Origins was amazing to do that.
Yeah. Origins, yes. And that's when I be like Origin. Because sometimes, while I know these games are criticized for this, sometimes though, I think it's a really good game for being able to just like go through and have a traditional open world experience of, just going through, doing whatever shows on the map and going through that story, exploring or whatever. And so, I don't know if they necessarily do anything special other than having you freely explore that moment in history. But I think they're just really easy to pick up and down, and I appreciate them for that. Because some games that like get you super into it, like Witcher 3, great game, but the problem with that, once you put that down, it's very hard to get back into it. And that's why I've never been able to get into it.
Hogwarts for me is like that, amazingly. Like, I haven't beat Hogwarts yet. And I've tried to go back into it, and I'm just like, there's so much else to play, I guess, is part of it, too. The oversaturation of stuff to play.
So much.
Gotta love that backlog.
Backlog is real.
But Hosea did make a point here on the second half of what Gio was starting to bring up there too. Of, and this is kind of my big thing with it too, is it's nothing against Assassin's Creed here, but he's also saying, well, we also just had Ghost of Tsushima come out, which is considered to be the best samurai game ever. Absolutely, that game is amazing. It's my second favorite PlayStation game, and so I absolutely love that game, and it's going to be very hard for him to beat, especially if they're just following this traditional Assassin's Creed formula. Of what these more recent ones are doing. Now, obviously, they're switching it up a bit with how they're doing these dual protagonists, and it sounds like a couple other things that we'll be getting into here in a moment once we get back to the list. But while I don't think these games are going to be bad, I think they'll still be solid, like Odyssey and Origins. It's still, though, it's still going to just follow that generic gameplay loop, probably. But not feel as special as what Ghost did, I think.
Well, yeah, and they're definitely well, not that we've seen any gameplay, but we can infer that they're going to be very different games in what their goal is, and I think I do think there's something to be said about the. Again, it's so early. We've gotten one trailer, but
Sure.
In terms of the similarities and the fact that they're both games from. Ubisoft Quebec is doing this one, Canadian studio, and then Ghost of Tsushima, I believe, was an American studio that did those games. So they're both games based in Japanese culture by non-Japanese people, essentially making them. And I think Ghost of Tsushima was very well received in Japan, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So I think we're hearing a little bit of backlash on this one so far. The game's not out, but I think that's important. They need to be really careful of how they handle the tone of their game, because it's, I'm not one of those people that's going to be cultural appropriation. I don't care about that, but you do need to be careful when you're dealing with someone else's culture.
Absolutely.
And I think they're, they really should take that into account when they're. Well, it should have. I mean, this game's already probably done, but should have taken that into account when they're making this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole point of like just Yasuke being the character you play is, I find very cool, right? Some people are complaining about, oh, why is this a game set in Japan, but you don't even play as a Japanese samurai?
Well, I do think there's a point there of like, why did they not just pick a Japanese person you could play as? Especially when it's all the other characters are fictional anyway. The ninja you play as is a fictional female, right? So it's like, why did they really need to do that? And you said, like, all the Assassin's Creed games, they never go into historical figures. If that's the case, why did they choose to do it here, right?
I wonder if, too, from a narrative standpoint, though, and to keep it more historical, like, what if this game is set when Yasuke first comes into Japan? So you're literally playing his journey of exploring Japan.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we saw with Shogun in the TV show, right?
Right.
And that's been really well received. I had it as a pick of the week. I really enjoyed the show, and I think that they can take some lessons there on like how to handle that kind of thing. Granted, I know there was. Well, actually, that part doesn't really matter. But anyway, I think basically they can learn a lot from how they handled that, and kind of take that forward. I think they might have really done themselves a disservice of, we've seen other stories based on Yasuke before, right? Like an Afro Samurai is a good example. But when you look at Afro Samurai, that was done by a Japanese manga artist who was a big fan of hip hop culture and wanted to infuse those both, and kind of like in the same way they did with Samurai Champloo, right? So that's this is all things you have to take into account when you're dealing with another person's culture. And again, we got one trailer, and some people are overreacting to it. Some people have some good points, but these are things we need to be thinking about, I think, for sure. And then especially when it's a studio where there's been a lot of controversy over, without getting into it, some of the people who used to work for that studio. So, and again, all we got is a trailer. We can only go off what we see.
Sure.
Cinematic trailer at that, no gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of gameplay, I guess we could just go back to this list, though, because I have still a lot more to go through here.
Sure.
We have Naoi, who is an agile shinobi. We're kind of already talking about this. Stealth, She knows how to fight. Could use grappling hooks and physics based, so it could be improbable. Yasuke's fighting style is the more head-on direct combat, like we were also just talking about, parries, breaking enemy armor plates, decapitation finishers, etc. Naoe, she uses a... I'm probably going to butcher what this is called, a Kasarigama. It's a chain that can whip around and keep enemies at bay. The team pushed on more destructibility and sliceable objects with damage realistically replicated from sword slices, arrow puncture marks, etc. Enemies can now be knocked out if players want a more pacifist playthrough for an Assassin's Creed game. Players can now go prone to sneak around. Fully dynamic lighting system illuminated by sunlight, torches, lanterns, etc. The game progresses through 4 different seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Each season brings with it environment and gameplay changes. For example, you crawl prone underwater in a pond during the summer, whereas the pond will be frozen over in the winter. More examples: grass grows tall in the spring, perfect for hiding, while it dies off in the fall, removing those hiding spots. Hanging icicles on buildings can snap and fall off, revealing your location during winter, etc. You can hide in the shadows to escape enemies and take out light sources to evade detection, like Splinter Cell. You can create a customizable hideout where you can grow and train your own Shinobi League, craft new gear, interact with other characters, and choose your base's layouts, decorations, and accessories. There are huge castles that act as significant landmarks throughout the open world that act as dungeons and their own big levels. Wanted to be a little more open with how you complete objectives, can tackle assassination targets in any order. And then last point here is there's no synchronization points that reveal all the points of interest on the map. Instead, they act as high vantage points that let you look and discover them yourself. So that aspect, that point at the area in there is kind of I feel like taking a, I guess a note from what Ghost of Tsushima does in a way, which would be very interesting to just see how they pull this off. Of if they're trying to make something that's kind of more visual oriented and not as much like, stuff, markers on your map or placed on your HUD or whatever, which they experimented on with Avatar a bit, and I think they did a really good job there. And then seeing how Ghost did it too, I think they have 2 great examples right there of how to integrate that. But then a lot of people complained with Avatar they couldn't find where they were going. So,
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
So, but yeah, no, it was
as long as it makes sense in terms of navigation.
As long as that works, right? Like,
yeah.
As long as you have something there, sometimes it helps. Like, the really cool thing with Ghost is there's like a button press you could do, and the wind would blow towards whatever you're trying to go for. That was that was the only sense of direction you had during that game. Well, you also had a map that you'd uncover, but like as far as like map markers or stuff like that, like there's none of that on your HUD. Wherever you're going, whatever mark you have, you just you press the button for the wind to blow, and you follow the wind towards your direction there until you find it. And so it's a really cool
good visual cue without cluttering up your screen.
Yeah, I thought it was really creative how they did that. So I think a lot of those gameplay details, it has me very interested in the game, a lot more than I was before, I'll say that. And because it sounds like in some ways here, they're definitely trying to make it different than what Ghost of Tsushima did. And I think that's a big thing too, is while I don't think it'll necessarily be as good maybe overall, like I said, Ghost of Tsushima is a super high bar. So like it's going to be hard for anything to beat that. But
which that's I don't know if we ever mentioned that. That's actually coming to PC finally.
Is this month, right? Like very soon.
It's pretty
maybe
crazy.
This week. And so like it's very soon. This week or next week or something crazy like that. And so yeah.
Are you telling me this was all planned?
It was all planned. Hosea asked a good question there. Will there be ship gameplay and battles, you think? I don't think so with this game. Just because I don't feel like it's like Odyssey, it made sense. Valhalla, they had some of it, but like there wasn't as much water features, but there's some parts there. But it's more about, I think that was more for travel, I think, than battle like Odyssey did. And so I don't feel like it's a setting that really you really need that with. Like, look at the shape of Japan. Where are you? What are you really doing? Like, just out around there, I guess.
Going
Like, I'm
along
sure
the
there might
coast.
be. Like, I'm sure maybe there'd be a mission or two where you board a ship and battle on it.
Well,
but I don't think it'd
there'd
necessarily be a whole mechanic
be-
around it.
I mean, conflict with China would be the only reason I'd see that.
The Manchurian DLC.
I don't think there's going to be but from what I'm reading, it doesn't seem like there's going to be like a whole lot of ship battles. It's mainly in central Japan, and so I imagine it'll be a lot of. Oh well, they do mention ports, so I don't know if that
Fast traveling
True.
to ports, possibly.
yeah, so you could have that, but I can't imagine there being actual ship battles. Although there's reason for them to do it, especially if they had it in the previous games and they can easily implement it
That's
from a
true.
programming
Yeah.
perspective, right?
Program in what you already had and just reskin it.
They
Well,
would have had cannons during that
They just
time.
made a
The
whole
basic
game based
controls.
on Assassin's Creed ship combat,
Yeah,
Stop. We don't talk about that.
which finally came out after 50 million delays, and then wasn't even that good.
Which everyone knew that's what was going to happen.
I was trying to
Anyway.
think of a Sea of Thieves pun, but I can't think of one. So
Okay.
It's rare. Your pun is rare.
The only skull and bones I want in my video game is on my Sea of Thieves ship. There we go.
As a nice little trinket.
No, it's a flag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're the Reapers. We're gonna go kick some arse.
No, that's a red
Yarg.
one, isn't it? That's the red flag.
Still, well, that has a skull on it though. So
Yeah.
Either way,
but
we were
the black
hoisting the
skull and
colors.
crossbones. Jesus Christ, you guys! Pirates, skull and crossbone.
Matey.
but that means that we're going to fight others. Intimidation. That's what that flag means.
No, that one doesn't mean that one. It's just a classic
Mhm.
pirate flag.
It's a
Well,
classic skull and bones.
Skull and boners. I also appreciate how Ubisoft dropped the trailer and released a date this year, not like a Rockstar, who drops a trailer and the game is possibly 2 or 3 years away.
But
Well, that's the thing.
Good
Like, we've
point,
known
good
about Shadows,
point.
but we never did get a trailer for this until this year. So,
Yeah.
like, we've known about this game. They just were hush hush about it. Because
And
for the
don't-
longest time, this had the code name of Assassin's Creed
Red.
Red for a
Mhm.
few years now, if not even longer. So we've known about this and the premise of it. We
Mhm.
just didn't know anything at all until today, when we got this trailer, and then we got all these gameplay details and we'll likely see all these gameplay details in the showcase next month.
Yup. Which I'm interested to see what they're going to show at Ubi Forward in terms of gameplay. Like you guys were saying, especially like ship stuff would be kind of cool. They mentioned some in this article talking about like how much collateral you're going to be able to do with your weapons and what it's going to do to your environment. I'm interested to see how that looks.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Especially
destruction.
like stab points and slash marks and stuff like that. It's one thing to show something like that in cinematic. It's a whole different thing to show that in game in engine. Especially since they said this is a brand new engine. You said
No, a new
No.
version of.
new version of Anvil.
it's a new version of an engine. Okay,
Yeah,
so just an updated. Okay,
Yeah, updated.
which
version,
Anvil
yeah.
is what they've used for I think the Division.
Division 2. No,
No, that was Snowdrop. That was Snowdrop.
Snowdrop.
That was Snowdrop.
Correct. Which is also what Star Wars Outlaws is being built on.
That's right. Yes, it is.
It's this engine mainly looks to be used like what's their for Assassin's Creed. I don't really see anything else.
Okay.
oh, you guys' favorite game, Skull and Bones, yeah.
Looks like Forgotten Sands may have also been built in it.
Oh, was it used for Skull and Bones? It's
It
funny.
was.
Oh, it was also used for
It's funny as hell.
Anvil Next 2.0 was used also with Rainbow Six Siege, For Honor, Ghost Recon Wildlands, and Recon Breakpoint.
Oh, cool. Those are all good games.
Well, I can't say about Breakpoint, but
I like Breakpoint.
I didn't like it from what I played of it. Ubisoft Anvil is also be used with the rebranded Anvil is being used with the Sands of Time remake, Immortals Phoenix Rising, and Mirage. So, like all the Assassin's Creed, it's an Assassin's Creed main staple, is what this is.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
So,
All right. Speaking
but
of
yeah.
video game studios,
Oh.
this is sad news. This is very surprising.
Yeah, one of these for sure. Let's get the other two out of the way. Or
Yeah,
four.
yeah,
Wait, how many is it?
It's 3. The other 2. You're right.
So one, their main thing was a mobile game they came out with called Mighty Doom. I played a little bit of it. It was kind of a fun game.
Yeah, they're being moved. No, there were 3 studios, kind of. I mean, there were 4 studios, kind of. One wasn't
Alpha
shut
Dogs.
down. Yeah, that's Alpha Dog Studios.
Yeah.
The next...
What was Roundhouse Games known for? Because they're the one that's just being shifted over to ZeniMax Studio.
Yeah, I don't know what they're known for.
All right, I'm going to look that up really quick.
Yeah, but so I'll continue while you look that up.
Did they do ESO or is that someone else?
No.
Well, they're joining them
to
to help with.
They're joining
right,
ESO team. And then there's Arcane Austin, which did Redfall and... Oh, God.
And
I don't,
Evil Within.
Yeah, but I don't blame them for getting shut down after the disaster that was Redfall. Which people who bought the $100 edition are going to be reimbursed with like game vouchers or something like that.
They already announced they're getting credit back for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So some sort of it's going to be game credit though. It's not going to be like actual credit.
You can't go spend it on like
whatever you want to.
Burger King gift cards.
So I remember back in the day when Ubisoft had a terrible launch for Assassin's Creed Unity, and they gave everybody DLC for free, or you could choose games for free. Now, in hindsight, I wish I had chosen the games, but whatever. I took the DLC for Unity, which I still haven't beaten. That's one I have to go back to and beat. But that'd be cool if Bethesda and Microsoft and Xbox would give them just like Microsoft Store credit, rather than just like. Hopefully, that's what they're gonna get.
That's probably, if I had to guess, that's what they're gonna get. That's gonna be
but I'm pretty sure there are microtransactions in Redfall. So they could easily give them just premium Redfall currency and call it a day and piss a lot of people off. But I think you're right. I think they're
going to piss off more people doing that.
So Spencer found it.
Interesting. It was originally, there's a studio called Human Head Studios that was then shut down in 2019, but then they reformed as this Roundhouse Studios. Yep. However, and with Bethesda, but it seemed like they didn't do anything. They were working on. It seemed like previously they were helping with Prey. They were helping with Prey 2, and then everything got canceled. And then now it seems like they were maybe working on a new game or something. Like I can't see anything solid from this team that actually came out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's very interesting. But now they're joining ZeniMax Online, which is to help with Elder Scrolls Online, I guess.
Better than completely shutting the studio down.
Yeah, unlike these others. So
yeah,
sadly.
The saddest one, which we haven't brought up yet, is Tango Gameworks, which had an amazing shadow drop of Hi-Fi Rush just a year and a half ago about.
Mm-hmm.
And just so many thoughts. Like, it's so surprising.
That's the big thing, is we haven't heard any reasons as to why.
So I actually have.
There's a thing I heard that ended up being false, but go on.
So I was out mowing the yard the other day, and I normally throw a podcast on when I'm out.
Just tell us the news. You don't have to tell us where you heard it. Just tell us.
So Sarah,
play-by-play, man. Come on.
Sarah Bond. I think she's the chief marketing officer.
No, she's the head of Xbox now.
No, she's not.
Yet.
Well, she might be if they keep pissing off everybody with Phil Spencer.
She's the head of Xbox Games, is what I'm.
Xbox Games. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, she did a thing at Bloomberg does this thing where they do like a stage show where they bring on executives from different companies and have discussions. And they brought her on, and the person interviewing her was like asking her dead-on questions specifically about this.
Okay, what did she say?
It basically sounds okay. I don't want to give you the shitty cut and dry.
I want to get the shitty cut and dry, dude.
Okay, so basically what it is this game got shadow dropped on Game Pass. Because it was mostly on Game Pass and people were playing it through Game Pass, they weren't having a lot of paying customers.
That's bullshit because it
didn't get enough in sales outside of Game Pass, and it's on PlayStation Switch. So PlayStation Switch sales were not high enough.
PC sales were high though.
It was considered successful, but not up to Xbox's successful standards.
But that's bullshit. I think she is
hiding.
The
numbers are not out, but that's literally what she said. She couldn't give because she's giving an executive answer.
It sold well. It sold well on Steam,
but
of course it wasn't going to sell well on Switch. PlayStation, they didn't market it well enough on PlayStation. They should have made a deal when baseball came over, because baseball was already on a game like baseball. They should have been like, hey, put it on your PlayStation Game Pass version of Game Pass. They should have done something like that. It's a bunch of BS that they took a studio that was raved about and
it's the only one that was in Japan.
That's neither here nor there. That's neither here.
Well, I think that's a very bad look on
they
them.
wanted to reach
that's a very bad look on them. Yeah.
And then they turned around and shut it down. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the game
that was out of Phil
critically
Spencer's
acclaimed. Critically acclaimed game. Yeah.
Critically acclaimed by reviewers, not in the sales apparently. So.
But that's a bullshit. That's a bullshit answer because they're blaming.
Was the budget too high? Was there not enough return on investment?
I think inflation. I think it's another just case of the economy is shitty and something had to go and they looked at their loss.
I agree with that
because you have to look at all. Let's look at all the other studios that could have gotten shut down.
Right. Every business.
No. Will you let me? Jesus Christ! Every fucking studio in Xbox under the Xbox umbrella that could have shut down. They're probably one of the first candidates to get shut down of all because of everything else being worked on.
And even the ones that have survived have all laid off people. Every single one of them.
Yeah, and Xbox has already laid off a bunch of people. That's correct.
Yeah.
So this is not the first, but it's just this one is such a shock. But they've made one game,
Just one.
Just one. That was critically acclaimed. But one game, so it's not that they were like, oh, you're terrible. I think that was just a political, the sales weren't, no, I think it was just they were the last one in the playground, honestly, and they didn't get picked to be on the team.
Or they might have broken even and done okay, but because, like you were saying, it costs so much to hire these people, they just can't afford them to keep them open.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I think. It's more just the world economy is crappy, and they let me.
This is going to happen every 4 years.
I don't even think it's an economy issue. I think it is a profit issue, though. I think they realize if they canned this studio, they could make more money. How much money is? Yeah,
and it's literally what they said. I think about this. If Hi-Fi Rush
they were rolling if they weren't rolling in the dough because of this company. This is something that companies have been doing for years. Look at what EA has done. Look at what all these Activision, all these.
Sure, yeah.
They swallow up companies and they close them down and they keep their IPs. It's what they do.
That's what they do. You're right.
These corporations, they're not here to serve these staff members or the consumer for that matter. It's about the bottom line in any way they can get it, right? So. I mean, I'm not saying that's exactly what happened there, but that's where logic would dictate.
Here's an article from The Gamer from April of last year, actually. So maybe it is the sales. Xbox reportedly isn't happy with Hi-Fi Rush's sales.
I think all this goes to them being unhappy with it is at the end of the day, while it's really consumer friendly, I think it all goes to the model of Game Pass.
It was a niche game, you're right.
And so
as well.
And so the thing about Game Pass is if you're putting all your games on Game Pass and everyone has Game Pass, you're getting this solid income rate of everybody playing it, but then you're not necessarily going to be earning more money because you're already putting it on there. It's kind of a problem with this Game Pass model that several Xbox partners have come out and spoken about, saying, no, it's not a good model, because what money is it there for them if they're just putting out their games and don't earn any money from, or not
it's
beyond whatever deal.
It's the exact same thing that happens with all streaming services. Like, I'm a musician, for example. Look at Spotify, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I upload a new song to Spotify, that's not making them any extra money, but they are potentially going to have to pay me more money. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any extra profit for them. Unless they assume that a whole bunch of people are going to sign up to Spotify Premium to hear my stuff, which is not going to happen.
Sure.
That guy's official. I'm signing up for Spotify Premium to go get that Geo music.
It won't be on there because I tell you right now,
guys. Start the movement. We're doing it.
The amount of I'm selling it my stuff. You heard it here first. I'm selling it direct to consumer because
which is the correct model.
Because
model. I hate to say it.
Well, independent.
Yeah, because I wouldn't make any money on
correct.
Spotify,
Yep.
right? So,
Independent
but that's what I'm
Cut out
saying.
the middleman.
If it's anything to that degree, now obviously I think they're probably making quite a bit more with Game Pass, but regardless of whether they are or not, I think it's something similar to that, right? Like they making more games, that's more development costs, but it's not necessarily more profits.
Yeah, I think also we're gonna see the Game Pass model evolve because
They have to. They can't keep it this way.
They can't. You're right. Unless
they can, but in the end, they're gonna lose.
That's
here's
why
their
they're starting
big
to
problem.
put other games on other platforms.
That's part of it because they needed more ways to make money. The reason why they're doing that is because their Game Pass model would work theoretically if they sold more consoles. But the Series X ratio to how many PS5 consoles are being bought is like crazy.
It's not even close.
It's something. Well, it's something crazy like 4-1 or 5-1, right?
Part of that has been
like
their strategy is not focusing on consoles, but focusing
on the service now.
Yeah, it's a live service.
Right, but that's the thing though, is you can't sell a subscription if the consumer doesn't have the hardware to purchase the subscription. You know, not everybody has a top tier gaming PC. It's cheaper to buy an Xbox.
Well, but
more of those people are going towards PlayStation.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is what they're trying to market though is those people who have the specific TVs saying you don't need a console anymore, just get a controller and hook it up to your
right,
you know, to your TV. So
right,
that's part of their strategy. Or take your mobile phone and go play it, or your tablet, or whatever, and get a backbone and hook it up to your phone.
You see, problem with that though, still too. You know, we're lucky, at least me and you, Chris, to where we can stream games great. You know, but not everybody can do that, and there's problems with that too. Like they still don't have all the kinks worked out of it. Like there's days where it's utter shit, and so
it wasn't that long ago that you couldn't even do it, right? So it's
yeah. So. And that's the problem with this whole xCloud thing is like there's not a lot of people that it supports, right? You have to think about how many people just live in an area where you can't get this great internet and they rely on just, you know,
you have
even
to be near a big city, basically.
Well, no, that's not true.
No,
or
not
at least,
necessarily.
or at least near like major.
No, that's not true at all. No, that's not true. It's you have to pay for the infrastructure.
Or if you've got Elon Musk Starlink.
Yeah, like here's the thing. Like my county got lucky because we got a special like grant to get it.
Well, and the whole country did though. That's the thing. There was this big infrastructure.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that Microsoft, I feel like what they're doing is they are anticipating the future, and hoping and betting on the future, and hoping they're betting right, and betting, and they're putting all their chips on the table, and hoping that the others don't call their bluff, essentially, kind of, but then they're also hoping it doesn't have to be a bluff at the same time as well, because it's business and you can't bluff, otherwise you lose billions of dollars.
Yeah, it doesn't work quite like
called
poker.
Fraud.
I think the big problem right now is they've been trying to play the long-term strategy.
Yes,
and that hasn't been working yet.
Well,
we haven't seen that.
The problem also is highly anticipated games have not done as well as they had hoped.
That's also true.
So Starfield did not do well. Halo Infinite did not do well.
I mean, I think those games sold enough to be fine,
Yes,
but they could have done. Think about how much more they would have done if it wasn't on Game Pass.
There's too much red tape in the development process. That's the
Fable, I
biggest issue.
think, has to knock it out of the park. Sea of Thieves is
I
their
don't.
top game right now. It has to be. I don't. Minecraft obviously is the #1 game in the world, so they've got these income sources that are bringing them money. You know, Sea of Thieves being on PlayStation now, people are gonna buy it. They are.
It's ripped open the market even more now.
People are going to buy it. So I think they're doing the right things. But again, I think they do need to evolve Game Pass. And it has evolved. You know, we used to have Xbox Live and Game Pass Ultimate and Game Pass Xbox and Game Pass PC. Now we just have Game Pass Core, Game Pass Ultimate, and Game Pass PC. So it's definitely evolving a little bit. You know, we possibly were going to get that family plan, and that, you know, they tested it, didn't work out money wise for them. So, you know, it's evolving. And I think part of it would be, don't put every first party title day one on Game Pass, kind of like the way PlayStation is doing it, although do put some.
So far, only day one things
Stars.
there have been indie games.
Yeah, I know.
And Foam Stars.
And Foam Stars. But yes, but that's the thing. Oh yeah, what's it's called that you played? The Tales of
Kizaru Zao, or the newest biggest indie hit also came out day one on PlayStation just this.
Yep. What's it called?
Last week. Animal Well.
Animal Well. That's right.
Yes,
I started playing a little bit of it.
Got, you know, good indie titles like Dave the Diver and things like that. But I mean, Xbox has great indie titles as well. I'm not going to diminish what is on Game
I think
Pass,
they both do.
But I think they both have to learn from each other.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to see more of the indie thing going on moving forward, or at least I think that's a smart thing to do, because I think we're seeing, like we just talked about this on, was it the last episode, about Sony having, you know, a lot of these big companies are having a lot of these financial issues, closing down projects, shutting down studios, things of that nature. And I think it all goes back to, in a lot of ways, well, there's various issues, but one of them being the ballooning development costs, right? And when you have a bigger game, it has to make bigger profits. And if it's not doing that, like I think, so what they might have to do, I think would be a smart thing to do, focus more on some of these indie titles where your profit margins are going to be a lot bigger, especially if it's just going to go on Game Pass anyway. Like I said, that's less development costs. So, that I don't know if that's what they're thinking, but if it was me, that's probably where the direction I'd head in. It's more indie titles.
Well, no, they have, and the whole idea at Xbox movement has always been huge ever since 360. You know, that's been a huge indie development for Xbox has always been a huge deal. Sure. So there's always going to be good indie titles showing up on a Game Pass. One just showed up today. I installed and I'm gonna check out. It's based on the Tower of Babel legend called
that's cool.
Chants of Sinar. So it looks, the art style is really cool.
That's cool.
What's the one I beat actually that I highly recommend people playing is Jusant. That's a fantastic game. So single player takes like 6 hours to beat, 8 hours to beat.
Right now I'm playing through another Crab's Treasure.
That's a great
Twitch.
Indie game.
Amazing game.
I've
so
played
far.
some Harold Halibut.
Only
that.
Yeah.
They just did a remaster, I believe, of or re-release or something of Braid.
Oh yeah. Oh nice. Oh interesting.
Which
but yeah.
You know,
so. But that's a great indie title. But yeah, Little Kitty Big City is another indie title at day one on Game Pass. So yeah, Game Pass really. But I think, like I was saying, they need to learn from each other. Where PlayStation should put some of their first party day one on there, and Xbox shouldn't put all their day one first party on there. I think the big multiplayer ones do. I would have been fine if Starfield wasn't on Game Pass. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy it is. But I haven't played it much, and yeah, that new update came out. But again, I think we're starting to see a tier thing where you're going to be able to pick and choose. I don't think Core and Ultimate are the last tiers we're going to see with Game Pass, because you know they're looking at that PlayStation model, and it's working out well for PlayStation, I feel like.
Yeah, possibly too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the other big thing too, and this is a big reason why I think PlayStation is being favored, is PlayStation has proven themselves so far this generation, but mainly built from the last is just their quality of games whenever you compare the two directly, you know? Like, PlayStation on PS4 got God of War 2018, Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, all known to be great games, at least for gameplay. You know, looking at you, Last of Us 2. But like, what does Xbox have to necessarily compare to that? You know,
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
So that's a big
Fable
thing,
would
right?
be the thing that they could if it comes out.
And maybe Avowed.
Avowed has some potential.
Avowed has some potential. Perfect
It could
Dark,
even outdo
obviously.
Which we haven't heard jack shit about Perfect Dark. It's dead silent right now.
Super
Well,
silent.
it's in the middle of development. That's
And
the problem.
then-
Is so
They're
many
making
games are
another
just
one?
busy
Yeah.
developing.
Yeah.
Which I'm interested. We got the showcase coming up in June for Xbox. They might start updating us on some of this stuff.
Sure. Well, yeah, we'll definitely.
We'll
'cause-
see. It's
Cover
I
that,
think
yeah.
after what just happened with this though, there's not going to be. It's going to be another year of we'll
No, I
see.
think I think
But they
you're
gotta
wrong.
come out. They have to come out swinging. But
That's
the only
the
thing they're
thing,
going to
and
have.
that's why
Well,
I think
here's
you're
the
Call
thing.
of Duty
wrong.
is their only thing they got holding them right now. And then
I think-
Microsoft Flight
I think-
Simulator 2024.
I think finally this is the year where Xbox could have be more successful than PlayStation if it wasn't maybe necessarily for this Game Pass model. Because think about it this way: we have Avowed saying, but that's still day one Game Pass, and then we also have Indiana Jones this year.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those are huge
Which that's
potential
kinda
single
mixed
player
still, but
hits.
We'll see.
I'm very
Those
excited.
could be
yeah.
those could both be huge single player hits, but if it's through this Game Pass model, that's still circling back to how much could it sell there, you know?
Yeah. What's going on, James Tyler? You're
What
catching
up?
us towards the end.
Yeah.
The Indiana Jones game is interesting. I'm wondering if they're gonna pivot on it being an exclusive and make it a timed exclusive
Well, I think that's what they
That's
need
what
to
I'm
do
thinking.
too. Is well, here's the
for
thing
a
too, is
huge
if you
IP
have
like that.
that's the thing. If you have a huge IP from such a big acclaimed studio that worked on Wolfenstein, all right, that's the thing. All right, if it's any other studio that didn't wasn't known for such fantastic first person experiences, I wouldn't care that's first person. But they know their crap when it comes to
Mhm.
making first person story experiences. Don't believe me? Go play Wolfenstein
Yeah.
New Blood and Wolfenstein 2.
I agree with James. The Indiana Jones game will be better than Dial of Destiny and better than Temple of Doom.
Ooh, I really hope so. I really enjoyed.
Because I think Dial of Destiny is a better movie than Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom is a
100%
weird Indiana
agree.
Jones movie in the timeline. It's a prequel.
Honestly,
it's
if
very
I was,
odd.
Cool.
you know what,
Monkey brain.
You know
It
what?
was never meant to be an Indiana Jones movie. I don't think.
Here's what I'll say about Temple of Doom. If I was to go just put on and watch an Indiana Jones movie, that'd be the last one I'd put on.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Crystal Skull is more fun.
The last one I watched was Temple of
Yeah,
Doom.
Crystal
That was-
Skull is
yeah.
more fun because Shia LaBeouf makes it a little more fun as well.
Swinging with the
Skull is a
There's
fun
more
movie.
good. There's more. Look, Temple of Doom is just very dark, and
Slow,
lady
too.
and
that
as,
first half is very slow.
and as
for the most
family
part.
as Family Guy said, lady only here because she banging director.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think it was Red Letter Media who did like a kind of a deep dive into that film and the circumstances surrounding the not development.
Why it was made? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really interesting.
It is.
It might be more
I
interesting.
need to read that or look into that.
watching. Yeah, it's really interesting to hear. Like they go into that about that whole thing that Chris just said.
Yeah, how it wasn't supposed to be. Oh, yeah, the actress. Yeah, of course.
I
Yeah.
would. You should
What's her
send
name?
me that. I'd really like to see that.
Yeah, I'll send you the link.
And so, yeah.
The
That's a very
director
interesting,
of
James.
Shawshank wrote a story for Need
Yeah.
4 where it would take place in Atlantis. Well, there was a game about that.
Yeah, before George made it a story about aliens.
Well, that's the thing. The reason that it was written about Atlantis is because the director of Shawshank was probably a big fan of Indiana Jones and Fate of Atlantis, which is probably my favorite point and click game ever. If you like Indiana Jones and you're even a partial fan of point and click, go play Fate of Atlantis. It's a fantastic game, fantastic indie story. Voice acting is great in it. Classic game.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
So,
we'll see what happens. Talk more once we get after this Xbox showcase next month.
Yeah.
absolutely.
See what
I'm
happens.
interested to see what goodies drop. Is there any
So-
big
and-
titles for the rest of the year you guys want to see at the showcase?
From Xbox
I
specifically.
mean, Fable
Like anything new?
obviously is the one I want to see always.
I guess for me, I just want to see a little more Indiana Jones, just
Yeah,
because I
that
guess that's
too.
the main thing I'm looking forward to from Xbox this year. And more Avowed. I want to see more Avowed. Sell me more on Avowed.
Oh, heck yeah.
I
Heck
think for me too, I always look forward to, speaking of the Game Pass model, is new titles that are going to be day one on Game Pass that are new IPs.
Yeah, we got several of those. Like, we don't have any release dates for that Towerborn game, which is actively being play tested now.
Mm-hmm.
I got invited to the latest one, and I just didn't do it.
And then,
Same thing with 33 Immortals or
33
whatever.
Immortals, exactly.
So,
So
both of
lots
those have potential.
Is the Plucky Squire, is that Game Pass?
No, but I really want to get that. I
That-
might
that
buy that
one,
day one,
yeah.
depending on when it comes out.
So that would be a
looks
good
so
one to stream for sure.
Yeah, I would love to play that game.
Speaking of stream and videos and stuff, make sure you do go check out our X-Men 97 review on this YouTube channel.
Available now.
Available now.
Go watch now, bub.
And actually,
And,
why don't we put that link in the chat?
Yeah,
So
I'll
we're
drop it.
going to be wrapping up here, and everyone can go watch it afterwards.
Before we
Gambit
mention
says,
as
"Go
well,
watch it. Remember it."
If you do watch, please leave a comment. Literally anything.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what it is.
It could be
could be
an emoji of a
your
middle
favorite
finger.
flavor of cheese, whatever you find, and
It could be a puking emoji because you didn't like the video. It's just interaction is good.
you can tell us we all suck.
Mhm.
You can tell
We
me
do
I
suck.
suck multiple times.
You suck. You suck.
then I'd say, tell me something new.
And then, yeah, go check out Twitch for sure. I'll be back tomorrow morning streaming some. Maybe I'll do some Speedstorm in the morning, depending on how I feel. If I feel like baseball, if Silk's around, then we'll do some co-op baseball probably in the morning. And then I'll be back for Spider-Man tomorrow, and Spencer will be back with another.
I will not be
Oh,
around tomorrow.
God damn it!
Friday. I'll
Oh
probably
yeah,
do
you're
something.
going. You liar! It's on the schedule.
Liar.
Damn
Sorry,
it!
what's going on tomorrow?
Games.
Games are regular schedule now. Gio doesn't read the chat. He doesn't pay attention.
Oh no, I just didn't hear you. So
Oh,
the regular schedule.
The regular schedule, except Spencer's not, because he's going to see a movie again about
Two
apes.
movies.
Damn.
But what's the other one
Two
you're going to
movies.
see?
Damn.
I'm going to also go see The Fall Guy for my first viewing of it. Haven't seen
That's
it yet.
funny.
I've heard that's good.
I've
It
heard
looks
really
funny.
good things
looks
about it,
really
so.
good, yeah. Ryan
Not my
Gosling.
type of movie, but I've heard good
I have
things.
the choice of either going to see that or If, but after seeing the If reviews, that helps solidify
yeah,
my.
definitely go see Fall Guy.
Now, I still may see If another time, but there's obviously
I
one to
mean,
prioritize.
Whatever Ralphie says you can go see it. You know, I mean, shit. If it's free, it's for me, right? Right.
He sneaked in. It's all good.
Sneak. He just walks in. What do you mean sneak?
I know.
Sneaking. And also, when
That's
can
the
we
Gollum
expect
movie.
the next live Daily Dingus?
Next live Daily Dingus. I'm currently working on that because I want to make it a bi-weekly show. Problem is next live show, they'll put it Memorial Day weekend. However, because it's Memorial Day weekend, I know some families do some things then, so it sort of just depends. I haven't decided if I want to do one that weekend or wait a weekend. Stay tuned. What I can say though is this Friday I'll be putting out a new video about the beginnings of Chris Claremont's X-Men, where we cover Giant Size X-Men and X-Men issues 94, 5, and 6. Yeah, 94, 95, 96. Which is like the first of two parts there where we cover the very beginning of what Chris Claremont wrote. If you don't know who Chris Claremont is, he is the biggest X-Men writer, I would say. He's who
Uncanny
made X-Men
X-Men.
huge. Yeah, that's kind of like where all that started there, right with him. And so definitely go check out this video because we delve into it. Starting because it's what takes on the second iteration of the X-Men here, and lots of notable characters that it's introduced, and right from the get-go, they're very much how you know of them today. So
yes,
go check it out.
Matthew Coburn with the John Turturro reference, Mr. Deeds. You underestimate the sneakiness, sir.
It's a very underrated movie.
Very underrated movie. Mr. Deeds, fantastic Adam Sandler movie. If you've not seen it, go see it. The sneakiness, sir. Thank you, Hosea. Excellent to the show today, gents, he says.
And thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Great to see you, James.
Thank
you
you
for showing up. Spencer, what's happening this weekend over at the Dingus Den?
Oh, yes. Over in my Discord, I am doing an event that I call Community Comic Club, where anybody that has read the story can jump in and join us and chat. But in that story this weekend is House of X, Powers of X, which is what started the current era of X-Men, which is about to end. So it's kind of I think a fitting time to sort of talk about the beginning of this era. Remember how it began versus the whimper that it's ending on, as a lot of people are saying about it right now. So, and then, after that ends and this new stuff comes out, I'll definitely be doing a bit of X-Men content there too, because it's going to be such a big time to talk about X-Men stuff with the new relaunch coming, a bunch of new series coming out. Oh, it's going to be, it's a big time to be an X-Men fan right now.
Excellent. Cool. Well, just check out Dingus Den. Check out all his content on his YouTube channel. And remember to catch us over on Twitch for gaming. Maybe Patrick will do a flight one of these days.
We'll see how it works with scheduling. Just with the current schedule and mornings, and it's a giant clusterfuck right now.
We understand. Gio, anything?
We might have some like late 2 to 4 a.m. streams.
There you go. Hey man, if we could, we'd have content 24 hours a day rotating us, but we can't. So
yeah, just not possible.
That's the dream. So, and still, we are considering doing the Fallout RPG tabletop series. So if anybody's interested in joining us for that,
reminds me of something else to plug. Go on, finish that.
Then let us know in our Discord or leave a comment below on this if you've made it this far, and let us know if you're interested in playing some Fallout tabletop RPG. And Spencer has something else to plug, apparently.
Yes, I have joined the secondary. So on Tuesdays, me and Chris play D&D over on Console 6. Go
Watch
check
it
out there. Watch it. Of Lizard Boy and Owl Man.
Yeah.
And so
the Adventures of Lizard Boy and Owl.
Anyway, but there's also another D&D group I joined over at Red 5 Tavern, where we actually just finished up our
season 1.
It was their second season.
Season 2.
Yeah, I joined in late. So I know.
New addition in the season.
Yeah, it was.
He was a guest character turned into a recurring character.
Essentially. Well, anyway, since we just finished season 2, but this Friday over on Red 5 Tavern, 9:00 Eastern, we are doing the season 2 epilogue, where everyone's going to be talking about what happens with their characters, kind of like in the break between, seasons here. And so, anyway, I should say my character is one of 3 barbarians, and our barbarian stories are tied together. Quite amazing what we're going to be doing for character stories there. Also, since there's going to be a break between seasons, I offered the DM there. I'd be like, "Hey, would you like me to do a one-shot there?" At the end, near the end of that stream, there's going to be a trailer that I made that's going to be showing off for. It's going to be shown off there, and I absolutely love this trailer. I can't wait for people to see this. I can't wait.
Oh boy.
You all will like it a lot more if you know who my character is all I'm going to say.
Okay.
And so, but yeah.
Okay. All right, Gio, anything else you'd like to say?
No, I mean, I think if health permits, I'd like to do some Elden Ring streams
Oh.
before the Shadow of the Erd Tree comes out, which I believe is next month already.
Excellent.
If I'm not mistaken. And there's still some stuff I could do in that game, or maybe like a challenge run or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely like to get into that a bit before the expansion comes out. But
We gotta get you
beyond
to
that,
dive into your backlog too. You know.
fair enough. Yeah, I got quite a bit of stuff with that, and and there's stuff I'm working on, but I don't want to. There's false promises if I say it.
Sure.
Absolutely. No,
we understand.
We understand. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm really trying to push to get some music done, though, for sure.
Nice.
It's been very tough with my health lately, but
Understandable.
it's coming. Slow motion is better than no motion.
Yes. Agreed. All right. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Everybody say goodbye.
Later.
And
Bye.
catch you all later. Remember, red shirts, you're the first ones to die.
You're the first ones to
Bye.
die.
Bye, Jim Ryan.
Wow.
Wow.